Welcome back, StarCraft fans, to the final day of the round of 24. I am Nyoken, joined by Scan, and today it's going to be a Terran and Protoss group. We've got, as you see, Rush versus Free, and then Mong versus Harangi. And let's get into our interviews.
Welcome back to ASL Season 14 Round of 24 Group F, and this is going to be the last group of the group stage and we have seen some quite interesting game from yesterday, how Shine was playing with the bag of builds, with the expanding behind of Snow's expansion, and doing the lurker, jumping over the wall and something like that, and very powerful ZVZ, the knowledge how he was playing. And we're going to go into the interview with Rush, Free, Mong, and Horang2. How are you guys doing? And Rush, you have been playing really well in the previous season. You always been in a seeded player, but since you were always on a seeded player, you have not played an ASL qualifier for a long time. How do you feel that you played the ASL qualifier this time? So Rush is saying it was quite easy to make it through on an ASL qualifier. So Rush is saying that he's he's somewhat scared to play the group stage because everything is best of one, and even if Free is tier 4, he's very good at PBT. So Free, Rush just said that he's scared to play on a group stage because it's best of one, and he's valuing your skill very strong, even if you're in a tier 4. So Free saying that he's not having that much of a confidence, but he'll try his best. And what do you think about the group stage of this the players in your group? And he says it's somewhat doable for him to make it through, but it's going to be a tough game for him. He'll try his best. You often made it into round of 16. A lot of audience and people out there are guessing. People are guessing that you are having some chance to make it into round of 16 in this group stage. He was also somewhat shocked that he was in tier 4 when the group stage was made, but that's how it was made with the ASL points, so he has to accept it. He'll try his best. And Mong, how are you doing, and how are you going to play for this ASL Season 14? And Mong is saying he often gets eliminated in the ASL stage or ASL tournament against the Zerg, but since this group stage with lots of Protoss and Terran, one Terran, 2 Protoss and 1 Terran, so he's having the very strong confidence to play in this group stage. Mong is saying that a lot of people are saying Horang2 he's not good as before, but he thinks it differently. He thinks Horang2 is still strong, and he's very good at PvT, so he has to respect, and he needs to have his guard up and not try to make some mistake against him. And Horang2, welcome back. You made it into ASL once again. And how are you going to play today's game? And Horang2 is saying he's not having much of a great feeling to make it through of this group stage, but he still has a confidence to play. As long as he's just keeping up with his play style and not making the mistake against his opponent, then he'll have some chance to win. Horang2 is also saying that in the previous season in the previous previous era, like Caspa era, they were both in the CJ team, CJ Entus. So Horangi is mentioning about his past. Mong was his practice partner. Mong did help him a lot of PVT game when he was playing Pro League or individual tournament.
연습 시간 때문에 F조를 또 선호하는 선수들도 있거든요. 윤찬희 선수는 좀 어떤 편이신가요?
So it's a question to Mong. This is the last group of this round of 24. Are you satisfied with this group stage or the group schedule because you have lots of time to practice? So Mong is saying that he's not satisfied with it because it's just too long, and whenever the time is just too long to practice, then there's a lot of players will be figuring out and analyzing more and having better optimization and with newer styles. So he's not liking about it. So he kind of prefers to play on the second day of the group stage, which is like a group B. And Free saying Free said he felt somewhat uncomfortable to practice with the new map, but it was somewhat okay for him to prepare and analyze more.
병행하는 데 있어서 뭐 유영진 선수의 바스포드, 이경민 선수의 친화대 이 콘텐츠가 또 4강에 올라왔기 때문에 이런 밸런스적인 부분은 어떻게 조율을 하고 계실지도 궁금하신 것 같아요. 이경민 선수 어떠세요?
So the caster is asking to Horangi. The question was something about the ASL, the preparation of the ASL and the StarCraft University Battle Tournament. Which one is more difficult for you to prepare? And Horangi is the leader of one of the team, the StarCraft University team, Tsuna University, and he's the leader of it. He's saying both of them are very difficult to prepare for the ASL tournament, the individual league, and also the team league like University Battle. He's saying that if he has to put into like a ratio balance, he says 7-3. He has to put 7 on the university and 3 on the individual tournament. And Rush is also saying same question for Rush. Rush is also saying he has to prepare more on the university battle because teaching female streamers is more difficult than preparing for the ASL. So he has to put the ratio balance 7-3, just like how Horang2 said. Any last word before we go into the game? So this is the last group of the round of 24 and last day of the game. It might turn to be a last game for him, so he will try his best. He does not want to have some regret when he gets eliminated. Mong, he says he does not want to get eliminated easily. He wants to have some fun and make it into round of 16. He will try his best. Free, he had one season break, I believe, and he said that he feels something new, but he does not have much of confidence, but he still wants to play really well and make it through. And Rush, he always has been prepared for any tournament, practice a lot, so he will be making it into round of 16 easily and show how strong he is. And thank you for the interview.
Thank you for the translation scan. I'm hyped for these games, man. I think the Protoss players are quite strong. Free's a very, very good Protoss player, and Harangi also equally good, as Mong stated. Of course, I think still the favorite is going to be Rush, because this guy's monster mode. After Light, he's definitely either the number 2 or number 3 Terran up there with Royal. But actually, the player I want to see the most is Mong, because last season he had that epic game versus Sulky, absolutely wild. So I'm curious to see how his TVP stands.
Well, I guess the clean feed I can rewind of this video. I wanted to see Rush's stats, but we can take a look on Free's stats. Amazingly, we get to know his PVT is really, really strong. I guess it's almost 60% win rate.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in a while, though. I think Actually, the last game I saw was him in ASL versus Flash. There was some crazy timing Flash went for, and like as I was watching it, I was just like, how can this work, man? How do you know? And the Flash just attacked at the right spot at the right time and ended up killing Free. Now, meanwhile, Rush here, this guy, he has improved so much over the past couple years, up there with Royal also. His TVP, you can never read him. He can go for 4-minute armory. He can go for starport play into 6 or 7 factories. I know he loves to play that. And he can also do timings. I mean, this guy's got it all. So this is going to be a good matchup.
Yeah, it looks like players are already having all those earphones and the noise cancellation headset, and we can see Rush is eating the chocolate. And that's the one of the chocolates you can buy in Korea. It's a ABC chocolate. There's always the alphabet. It's written. It's very kind of cute chocolate, because if you're like little kids, if you buy those kind of a chocolate, you can play around with the words and the alphabet, make a word, and maybe give them as like a treat at the end. So he's having some sugar in his body. He wants to play serious.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen him eat the ABC chocolate in previous seasons. And I was just watching a tournament where Bonneth won, and in the interview, Bonneth was asked what does he do pre-play in preparation, and he was talking about eating some sugar or getting some energy to help him with his match. But you know what I'm noticing here, Scan? You know what I'm noticing.
Oh, the ASL jacket.
There's no jacket, man. So who can I pick here?
Well, none of them are wearing the ASL jacket. We won't know it, but I mean, the one guy has taken the sugar, the other guy hasn't. So let's figure out. Let's see if the sugar power will help them.
Yeah, the sugar could be the difference maker. Maybe it'll help Rush's APM. Players are set now. Time to get into game 1. Butter, Rush versus Free.
Oh wow, I guess it's just... Can we... I guess it pauses. Oh, I guess the clean feed is broken. Should we jump over to the ASL mainstream platform? I guess we have to. We don't have any option. Alright, somewhat unfortunate for us. The game number 1, we are going to hear the Korean commentary because the clean feed is somewhat broken for us to rewind, and we'll go with this go over the Korean commentary.
Yep, and in the bottom right of Butter, we've got Rush. Meanwhile, in the top right, we have Mr. Free. So Butter, TVP, I feel like we've seen this a few times already. You know, Terran always has to be wary of the gas rush. We actually haven't seen any proxies yet. There's no forward gates right outside their natural. I think yesterday was the first time we saw Snow even put on any pressure with a Zealot. You think Free is someone that will put on pressure with Zealot, or will he just be content with gas stealing?
Well, if I try to remember how Free was playing in a previous season, like Free versus Sock, I believe he has done the Pylon Scout and do the gas steal, I believe, against Sock, and I guess he's gonna be doing the same thing once again, like how Snow was playing from yesterday. And lots of fans are here holding the poster, rooting for Rush.
Yeah, Rush is definitely one of the fan favorites, and we do have that pesky probe moving across the map, and it is moving across the map quite quickly, but not fast enough for it to be a forward gate like I was talking about. So this is just going to be the gas steal. We do not see a fast wall like we saw Barracks go for, so the probe will get in and steal this.
Yes, now the probe will just go inside and see more. He will be stealing the gas, but that's somewhat interesting placement of the barracks, I would say. I mean, what if he has gone for like a 7 pylon into 8 gateway, then that would have been a big time trouble for Rush to hold off against the proxy gate. But I suppose he has the great mind game that He's just gonna be expecting Free not gonna be doing the proxy gate, so he'll be having the forward barracks. Well, if you have the forward barracks, it does help him to send out the Marine quickly against the Nexus first build.
Yeah, Marines walk so terribly slow that it will help a little bit. But like you said, this is so far forward. If this was a proxy gate, he would be in real trouble. But not going to get punished this time. Behind this, do not see gas going up for free, so this is going to be fast Nexus.
Last game of Snow versus Inga, I've seen Snow has gone for 2 Zealot assimilator into an expansion. Like how Terran often goes for like a gas expansion, and Snow is also doing the gas expansion. But let's see if Free will be doing the gas expansion, or will he be doing 2 Zealot into expansion like a casual or the normal opening. But never mind, we are going to see the engineering bay rush from Rush.
Yeah, and this is going to be annoying. That is going to force a second Zealot out. Looks like he was already building it, so not going to actually deny the Nexus as long as he thought he was. Meanwhile, first Zealot is across the map, but was not paying attention in that couple of seconds of wait time. Allows the bunker to complete, allows the potential 4th Marine to get out, and Command Center is going to start pretty much at the same time as the Nexus. So I would say this is an ideal opener for Rush here, and now he's pulled onto the gas, to knock this down, get his gas going.
So that is somewhat interesting to see from Rush's respawn against this gas steal into an expansion, because I personally prefer to go for a refinery first into an expansion, because I want to have the factory slightly faster, because of sometimes the opponent, always opponent will be having the gun production much faster than your siege tank production, so that's why I prefer to go for the gas first into an expansion. But I guess Rush wants to have more equal lead with the mineral early stage of the game, like with the mineral boost, so he's having the refinery really late. And like I said here, he won't have that mineral and investment gas balance, but let's see how he's going to be responding against Free's opening. Will he be going for the range upgrade?
No, not going to be. Oh, I assume he'll probably go into range upgrade or fast robo, but I agree with your assessment of the gas from Rush. I also really like getting faster gas, but I've watched a few games of Rush lately, and it's not a shocker to me to see him go for the command center. He seems to not really care at all about getting his factory delayed, and he'll just be content with having more minerals. Now, what I was surprised to see was Free built those 2 Zealots and did not attempt to run by at any point. So those 2 Zealots are kind of just sitting outside, making sure nothing runs by. But, this is Terran. What are they going to do, run by Marines? So for now, I would say this build order, I would favor Rush just slightly, just simply because nothing happened to him other than getting gas stolen, and it's not like Free's playing fast robo or anything. I think this is just fast range.
Yeah, everything's somewhat standard, and Rush has scouted all those main base of Free to figure out whether that was a range or robo opening, and he saw the gun range was not going up, but the robotic facility was going up, so he knows what exactly will be going on for the next step, and he's gonna be pretty much happy with this opening, because he won't get much of a pressure against Free's gun. Okay, there's an observatory finally going up for Free, and we see Rush has a second gas at the natural. He's making double building. That must be the armory, and one of them will be academy. And the spider mine research, that must be the spider mine research. It cannot be the siege mode, because he knows there was no gun range upgrade from Preuss.
Yeah, and no double add-on for Rush either, so it's not going to be, the 3 tank push or anything like that. It is just going to be mines, as he stated. Very fast armory, I would say, for how the game has... Well, actually, it's not as fast as I thought. I'm looking at it. It's about to complete now, which puts him at around a 520 armory. That's more standard-ish compared to some of the games I see of Rush, where he's hitting 4 minutes, 430 armory. Just a ridiculous armory timing. And Vulture does come in and see there's no third base, at least not there. Mine is not set up just yet, and first observer we see is coming across the map.
Very interesting to see putting down a pylon at the Rush's third expansion. And One of the probe will get a sacrifice to figure out whether that is going to be a 3 tank pressure with a 2-level machine shop, or will it be just a single machine shop into like a siege tank into vulture follow, like how Rush is right now doing with the. I know this is like a typical or type of Rush's playstyle that he likes to make one add-on only and make 4 vultures from the second factory and into an add-on. And there's another building was going up at the okay, yeah, there it is. That is a third factory right now. He's making +1 attack upgrades already on the way. Still no second machine shop from him, and he does figure out there's a robotic facility. And whenever you see the robotic support bay, you must have to put down the eBay. But is there any robotic eBay building going up? No, I don't see it yet.
I also didn't see the eBay anywhere. That building at the top I thought was going to be an eBay, but that's a command center. I don't know what he. Okay, there we go. There's the eBay. Like I feel like if it was me here and I scanned that a shuttle was already done, I don't think I would have instantly put down a command center. I would have put down that eBay instead. But eBay does now just go up. Rush has already one Goliath out. He may have a second come out in just this. Or does he? Yeah, he does. It's in the main. He's got mines set up. We see more and more Terrans these days really prioritizing mines in their main to shut down the Reaver. But that shuttle, I think, is outside the natural right now. Yeah, he may be going for a bust onto the bunker.
Yeah, now Free has to decide whether he can actually harass. Okay, doing the Zala bomb on top of the spider mine. Oh, getting double shot on those siege tank. Now that Reaver is dangerously low HP. Now that is going to help Rushes to move out here. And we are seeing the starport finally finishes. Science facility should be going up momentarily. I guess Rush really wants to put the turret ring at his main base before he moves out. He wants to play safe. And yeah, there's a single vulture still buying some time, not letting Free to take the 4th expansion. Picking up the observer nicely.
Yep, getting rid of the OB. And the OB did see that there is 4 factories, so there's a good chunk of production for Rush. But it is a 20 supply lead for Free. I noticed that the Citadel just finished now, so this is 6 gates. Tons of production, I would say, at this point in the game for Free. No speed just yet, but also no big tier tech coming in. No Templars. I didn't see a big building come down for a Stargate, so for now, I think it's just Gateway Man with the single Reaver, but you gotta remember, that Reaver is really low because it got shot by those 2 tanks.
Yeah, when I'm looking up this Rush's game, something just came into my mind, because remember in the previous seasons, like how he was saying about his PvP, he does not like to play Armory Academy build, like the Goliath tank build, because that's the only build Flash can only do, and he's not comfortable with it. Whenever he does the Armory and an Academy build, he says he often falls behind and he can't really do anything, and that's why he prefers to go for Armory and an eBay build. But I guess he did improve a lot throughout the season, and now he can just play lots of playstyle with the Armory Academy build. But now this is the time he needs to be careful. One of the siege tank gets picked off.
Yeah, he loses 1 tank, but these goons are stuck now. They're going to get shot going down the ramp if they try and attempt to go there. Meanwhile, Free's going to try and attack from the bottom side, but I don't think he has enough there to be really much of a threat, and he loses even more goons. So 1 tank for a handful of goons, that's a definite worthwhile trade for Rush, and he does secure his 3rd base. Meanwhile, the goons are just being annoying. I mean, they might take down a turret, but not much else. Here comes double shuttle. Zealots lead the charge. There is a mine there, but will he trigger a big mine blast? Doesn't look like it.
That's a really weird placement of unloading the 4 Zealot, but now Reaver is going to unload. Finally shoots 1 Scarab, but oh my god, it does get picked off. That was a dangerously low HP Reaver, so now that is going to help Rush to take the 3rd expansion.
Yeah, that was not an ideal attack for Free, but despite that, he's still up. 20 supply, he still has 4 bases. He did lose a lot though, but because of that attack, looking at the factory flood, it's slightly delayed because of that. Meanwhile, Free ramping up his gateway production too. Again, I still haven't seen a Stargate, so for now, it's just shuttles. I did see Templar tech though, so we will have storms, but here comes 7 factories for Rush.
And we see Shuttle is making Freeze making more Shuttle here and takes another expansion. I guess Freeze he's not feeling confident to go for 4 base like heavy macro, like 200 max with the 4 base, and then to go for the timing attack like how Bisu or Mini does. I guess he wants to play for the late game potential here, taking another expansion instead of maxing out really fast. And now Rush has 7 factory as you mentioned, so this is going to be very comfortable, the comfortable zone and comfortable period of time for him to prepare for everything. And look at how much of SCB he has at the 3rd expansion. And all those saturation that he has been working on is just going to be very good for the late game potential with the heavy upgrade, with the 2-1 upgrade hitting at this 13-minute mark. And here's the shuttle coming.
Yep, Shuttle trying to find an opening at the natural, but there's 3 turrets there and mines. So not going to find anything to exploit. Supplies for Rush around 130, meanwhile almost max for Protoss, but you can see +1 armor just kicked in for Terran. The Terran's +2 is about to finish, and it does just now, so that's a big power spike for Terran. But does Terran have enough supply to feel confident to move out? I don't think 140 is enough to make Rush feel obligated to attack, so he may just harass with vultures, build up that tank count, potentially take a 4th base, and there he goes, building the command center at his natural.
Yeah, so classic of TVP, 7 factory into 4 base, and then having max 9 factory later on, and 2-1 upgrade is finished as you mentioned. So this is going to be very great game scenario for Rush. I mean, he hasn't gotten any harassment from Free. I mean, normally whenever you get to see the Reaver play or like a Storm Drop play, we often get to see from like Mini or Snow constantly doing the harassment all day long until the game is finished, but we don't see any of the harassment. It's just going to be pure army battle, and whenever it goes into army battle like this where Arbiter tech is really slow, this is going to be a great moment. Oh, okay, so that's one nice storm.
That was a good storm, but doesn't really get much in terms of kills. Does force SCV pull though, but that Stargate is super late. Like, this just got put down 20 seconds ago, or Arbiter Tribunal, I mean, got put down 20 seconds ago. Arbiter takes a long time to build too. It's a minute 40 to build, so 2 minutes of no Arbiter tech, and then you also got to build energy, so 3 minutes of really no Arbiter tech. That's going to give Terran the time to get 3-2 upgrades, and I can tell you once 3-2 kicks in, there's going to be no more camping from Terran. Rush is going to get out on his side, get out onto the map and put some real pressure on. So Free needs to be careful and needs to buy time to get some more heavy tech units out.
I really love this siege tank placement. How he has split his siege tank. Some of the couple things, the 3rd expansion, and still he has a lot of army at this the 4th expansion as well. And now Free is just hesitating where he should be attacking.
Yeah, I'm worried for Free. I realize Free has his entire side of the map right now sitting at, what is that, 5 bases, and he's taking mid-left. But the problem for him is this is a 2-player map. It's not like we're playing Polyport at Vermeer, where we have 3/4 of the map. We've got gateways everywhere. I mean, the gateway count isn't even that high either. What's it, maybe 12? So 9 factories versus 12 gateways. So Terran can deal with that easily. And now, Free's swooping around on the left side, but this is a big choke. He needs to land some critical storms. Otherwise, this is just going to be a meat grinder.
And now the Goliaths are pretty much targeting on the shuttle, and one of the High Templars will drop. I guess the other 3 of the High Templars were inside of the shuttle was not able to unload, so this is going to be a big loss for Free. I mean, those goons are trapped. And now he just sees a couple of the siege tanks. I think Rush should be just gonna move out. Yeah, he's just having confidence.
If you've got an attack like that, you've got to move out. Terran lost, I think, 20 supply, and Protoss lost 80. So it's go time now. And as I stated, this is butter, where mid-left is very close. He's going to instantly knock that out. Storms have to buy time. That was a good storm, dealing a lot of damage to the vultures. But this is not going to be enough to push Terran back. Protoss is doing a really good job to resupply up. He's at 160 now versus just 170 of Terran. But Terran ahead in supply versus a Protoss army that's really not that heavily upgraded, and there's no tech. I can just only imagine Terran's going to at least knock down mid-left and potentially top-left. We've got double Stargate coming out, though. Arbiter's in production.
Yeah, it looks like Rush is trying to set up the hockey, like the grouping the hockey, and I guess he wants to move out. Maybe he might be just waiting until the +3 hits, or he just wants to buy a couple more times. But now Free used all those saved up bank. Still have some saved up bank, but he needs to spend more to in order to fight back against these Terrans 200 max army. And we can see Rush is slowly moving out. I want to see Rush's army, Rush's upgrade. He should be kicking in 3-2 momentarily.
Yeah, it should be really close. And Protoss actually has 2-1. Well, he has 2-1 with shields. And +2 weapon is a good power spike versus 2-1 of Terran. But the army right now is just ridiculous for Terran. Also, that vessel, I don't think... No, I did see a cast a D matrix, so it may not have energy for EMP, but he's on the doorstep of Protoss. And Protoss is just going to give up his natural, which means we're going to have another base trade scenario. But I don't know about this.
Yeah, if we take a look at this minimap, look at how much of spider mines everywhere as it's natural. And now Rush is going to decide to split up his army. He knows Free rotated handful size of the army behind. Okay, now here's the double shuttle unloading some units top of the siege tank. And do you have EMP? EMP got hit on the Arbiter. So now this is going to be a... Okay, wow, Free somehow he managed to eat up some nice army. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
he killed a ton of tanks in the back. What looked like an amazing fight for Terran, with all the stuff at the front still alive. Big flank from Free. He does clean it up. He resets supplies 140 to 140. And think about Rush's attack. He didn't kill any bases. Literally none. Maybe he killed some probes at the natural, but Free is still sitting on 6 bases. Major econ. Terran's just on 4. He did not take a 5th base behind this, and he lost all of his tanks. So this is a great position for Free. I mean, he's still down supply though.
And this is the the strongest part of Free. Free is amazing in PvP with the 200 battle. He always finds a solution to fight back. But I guess Rush somehow he managed to have handful size of the army once again, and now he moves out. And this is the 170 supply against the 170 supply. But we can see Free's goon count is really low. Whenever the goon count is really low, Free can't really fight back because he needs that many of the goons to pretty much clear all the spider mines easily, and zealots are not very good against those spider mines.
Yeah, indeed they are not. I'm wondering where the arbiters are, because we saw double Stargate, but I consistently only see one arbiter, so maybe he's forgotten about them in the main. I can't imagine that being the case. But we've got another max versus max army, 3-2 for Terran. I think Protoss is still on just +2 weapon and +1 shields, so kind of a big upgrade discrepancy here. And that Protoss army, even though he's maxed out, looks tiny.
Ooh, EMP on the High Templar, and now Arbiter is getting targeted by the Goliath. Okay.
Yeah, Arbiter falls. That's another critical high-tech unit. I've seen multiple Templars fall too. And now it's literally Pure Goon and Zealot. And Pure Goon and Zealot honestly just doesn't beat 3-2 Terrans. So this is going to be a rough situation for Free. That's a lot of clump tanks, and that's an amazing stasis. But unfortunately, the majority of the gateway units have already died before the stasis kicks in. Supplies still plummet for both sides, down to 140. And again, I'm looking at Protoss just hold this attack, and looking back at Terran's side of the map, no 5th base anywhere.
Yeah, somehow, it's so amazing. I mean, Rush was also playing really well here. He was always been getting maxed easily and keep pressuring Free, but every battle that Rush wanted to go for the fight, he's not earning much of the benefit out of it. I mean, the battle constantly turns out to be even, and he hasn't taken down any bases. But okay, here's the Arbiter. But one of the Arbiter has enough energy to use the stasis field. Nice stasis field on both of the sides.
Yeah, he gets 10 tanks with 2 stasis. That's the Terran nightmare right there. And the vessel had 75 energy, so it had no chance of EMPing. And again, the tanks are going to get reset. And again, a Nexus is not killed. Luckily for Rush, he has taken mid-right, so he's going to have 5 bases. But the fact that Free still has all of his economy going, and he's kept all 3 Arbiters alive, he's got a real shot of killing a ton of tanks in just a second.
That's one nice Storm Zone vultures and Goliath, and one of the stasis once again on the vessels and a couple of the vultures. This is high ground now. Siege tanks are going to be defrost, and now Rush really needs to merge his reinforcement and needs to save up the siege tank. Okay, now that's the big victory for Rush over here, because although whenever the goons are melted, then that's a good sign for Terran to slowly push forward and take down the expansion. And now Rush, okay, ooh, that's a nice spider mine bomb.
Oh my gosh, he loses all of his arbors. He killed, I guess, one of the groups of tanks, but again, supplies are still even. Just non-stop action, reinforcing this position over and over. Both players do not want to give an inch here. The Nexus, will it fall this time? The tank does die, but the goons are fizzling out. More arbors coming in. I don't think we have any more Goliaths anymore. Oh, there's one, but really not a lot of anti-air. It looks like the tanks will finally take down this Nexus. But Protoss, oh, there's no vision for Terran.
I guess he's totally out of energy, and now, okay, the vessel was here. Okay, I guess the vessel was defrosted, and now that one EMP hit on Arbiter is going to be just pretty much stopping all the cloak unit from now. And now Free loses expansion. He wants to, yeah, he's warping on the Nexus at the top left. And okay, never mind, that was an engineering, not a command center at the 3 o'clock. So there's a 5th command center. Finally goes up for Rush. He wants to take the 5th base in order to macro here.
Yeah, it looks like that attack was finally what broke the camel's back, because you now see Free not able to catch up in supply. He doesn't have that 2 to 3k bank that he had earlier, so he's really low on resources, and he just lost his 4th and now 5th base. 3rd base should be mined out for him in just a second, which puts him basically on 1 base mining with just top left. Meanwhile, Rush is getting a fresh base at bottom left, so as long as Rush holds this counterattack, it looks like it's his game to take.
Yeah, SCVs are transferred. I guess we can see from the Rush's minimap, Rush's 3rd expansion is completely mined out, and looks like Rush is somewhat having some difficulty keeping up the supply. He's almost done spending all of his resource at the 3rd expansion as well. So after he takes down the 9 o'clock expansion, I guess Rush needs to pull back his army. Maybe somehow he needs to survive or bring those army back home to defend his 5th base. And now the Arbiter is coming to 70 energy. Goliaths are here.
Yep, no stasis. That was a whiff on the EMP, but this is probably the last stand here. Oh my god, there's so many mines, and there's only one observer, and he just gives up that base again. Oh, never mind, he's gonna come back now, but like I said, there's a ton of mines here. Look at all the zealots, just eat them up. D-Matrix go down, Storm goes down. That's a good storm, but there's the real army behind, and this is going to be cleanup crew for Rush.
Very interesting D-Matrix on his vessel, and there's a GG's call for Free. Free loses all of his army. He knows he can't really do anything to fight back, and yeah, that was a very intensive fight of how Free managed to like keep up the game, even if the game was not looking great for his side.
Yeah, that was really well done from Free. Despite having the lack of tech for a long time, he had really good fights. Like, it's not easy for Protoss to go even in fights or ahead in max battles. I would say there was only one botched attack at bottom left. If you remember, he just ran into the 3rd base and lost 80 supply. Other than that, all the fighting was really great. I would think if Free wasn't on butter, where he could have taken 3/4 of the map and actually made Rush, attack more often, I think Free could have easily taken the game if the map was Vermeer. But the fact that it's butter and you can split, I think that really helped out Rush.
Yeah, Rush is playing absolutely crazy here, and we are going to be jumping over to the clean feed video soon. Once we get to see the change of the screen. Yeah, it looks like they're going to be swapping into a commercial break, and we'll jump over to the clean feed.
All right, we're back. We're going to be going into our Ask ASL segment in just a second.
ASL Season14 24강 F조 경기 함께하고
So
계십니다.
that was the first game of the ASL Season 14 round of 24 Group F. It was Rush versus Free, and it was a very intensive game that we have seen from both of the players. And yeah, we are jumping over to the Ask ASL event. Ask ASL, go to ASL mainstream platform, leave a comment over there and ask a question to the players that you would like to ask. And if your comment gets selected, you get the ASL mini fan. 4 people will get it. And there's also the winner's prediction Africa TV esports page. You go there, throw some gems into it, and if you get more gems, and you can exchange those gems with some other stuff like coffee or computer parts like graphics card if you want, and so on. And we'll go into the game number 2 of this group F, and that is going to be Mong versus Harangi.
Yep, and we haven't seen Harangi in a while, but Mong, always a staple in the ASL. As I stated last season, he had one of the best Terran versus Zerg games I've ever seen on Vermeer versus Sulky last season. This guy's a really, really talented Terran. He's got really fast. He's really, really fast. He's like barracks level of fast. And I think I would favor him versus Harangi, but Harangi's no joke in PvT either, just like Free.
Yes, and Mong, he's the type of player who always have the bottle of the ion drink, the sports drink, the Pocari Sweat, like how Flash was drinking in the past all the time. I wonder if he's going to be doing that once again in the ASL, and now we are going to be taking a look at Horangi. And look at that, his win rate of his PBT. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 7-1, 87% win rate. I mean, that's a huge win rate. However, only 30 games pretty much played in the ASL. Like I said, I feel like I haven't seen him in a while, so those games may be older. I'm not sure exactly who he's facing, but even if they are 2 or 3 years old, Flash was playing in those ASL, so it could be games versus Flash. It could be games versus Last, who was a dominant Terran back then. But yeah, Harangi, really strong PvT. As I stated, I watched a VOD of him when I was first coming back to Remastered, and he seemed to be gateway man into Arbiter play. I'm not sure if he's somebody like Mini nowadays that likes to play mass shuttles, but we did see Free attempt mass shuttles in the previous game.
Yeah, I wonder how Horang is going to be played, because when I was in the same team with him, with the Africa University team, Hawkward, and he often he does use the reverb, but sometimes he doesn't, and he plays the Arbiter tech, and he's really, really amazing with the macro play stuff. And let's see, players are ready. We're going into game number 2 of this group F, and that is going to be Mong versus Horangi on Butter.
Alright, in the bottom right, our Terran player again. It is Mong. And in the top right, in the green, it is Harangi. Now, last game we saw the gas steal into double Zealot. You think we're going to see something like that again?
Well, I mean, there's absolutely no reason to go for there's no reason to go for like a 12 Nexus build, because it's a two-player map, and why not just steal the gas and then try to mess up the Terran's optimization in the early stage of the game? So I believe he will be playing just a pure standard here with the gas steal after that. And looks like lots of female students are here to root for Mong and Horangi, and same thing for Horangi, he will be doing the Pylon Scout.
And again, that's a very forward pylon. It's not as far as it could have been at the natural, but it is as far as it could be in the main. So I imagine we're going to have the gas steal into more Zealot pressure. We can see the match history of Harangi there. He was playing Rush actually back then.
Yeah, that was in Season 7, and he has been having that 7 winning streak since Season 7 and until now. And the last game that he won against Terran was Bishop in the Season 13. Was unfortunate for Bishop to make it out of the group, but he has faced all those strong players like Rain and Horangi, of course. And that's an interesting opening from Mong. He has gone for the refinery into barracks.
Well, it does hurt his eco a lot to do that, so we'll see how Harangi wants to exploit this. For now, he's doing a really good job to exploit the lack of range on the SCV. He almost gets it. It's at 1 health. He is going to get... Oh, maybe he won't get it. I can't believe that that's not dead yet.
Oh, no!
Oh! What? I thought I saw that SCV have enough health to defend one attack from the probe, but not the case. SCV dies, and when you rush your gas, you're cutting an SCV for that, so that's a huge loss.
Yeah, look at that APM with the 500 APM multitasking from Horangi. He's keeping up his build order right with the Zealot production on the way, and then a second pylon, a simulator, and constantly doing the probe harassment like a two players are playing on one side like a team melee. And finally the factory goes up before the supply depot. That is somewhat interesting opening from Mong. I guess he wants to have the faster factory to delay, or I guess he wants to push away those Zealot pressure in the early stage of the game.
Yep, and here comes that Zealot. And last game we were talking about how far forward Rush's Rax was. Can you imagine how annoying this would have been if Mong put his Rax where Rush was? He definitely would have still lost the SCV, and then he would have not the greatest SimCity. We've got Zealot pick off another SCV, and it's building the factory. Luckily, Mong instantly puts an SCV back on it, so the factory's not going to be delayed that long, but 2 SCV losses already. And behind this, Harangi's going to take a Nexus, and this is just a fantastic opener so far for Harangi.
Yeah, that is just single Zealot pressure into a single gun expansion, I suppose. And now the gun range is already on the way. I guess Horangi does not want to be greedy here. I mean, there's a possibility to go for skipping the gun range and then taking the expansion, and then you can play one more greedy playstyle. That would be putting down the robotic facility before the range upgrade, but I guess he wants to play safe. He will be going for the gun range and then puts down the robotic facility later on. But we can see Mong's response of this game is really bad, I would say, because he spent 100 mineral on the bunker and he still doesn't have the command center until now at the 4-minute mark, and we can tell Horangi is having a huge lead. He does have the Nexus being completed at 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, this is a fantastic situation for Harangi. It couldn't have gone better, really. There's no chance of him getting killed by a counterattack. He's got fast robo, and Vulture's going to get into the main, so maybe Mong can even up some of the early eco damage right here. He's going to get 1 probe, 2...
Oh,
no,
probe.
Only just 1.
Nice probe glitching out and then forcing Horangi to just kind of forcing Mong to have that Vulture glitched out and not able to kill the Vulture probe anywhere here. So that's a very good response from Horangi, and Mong needs to put down the spider mines, but we can tell the supply lead is going to be ahead for Horangi. His Vulture does not have the spider mine research yet.
Yeah, no mines, but he may get another probe kill. Okay, I thought he might commit there, but not going to be the case. He doesn't want to lose that Vulture. It did just get the mine upgrade, so he wants to lay them down. And it does push the goons back. Now, can't do that. That's going to be a bleeding of 1 goon. Yeah,
I guess Horangi wanted to take the 3rd expansion at the 11 o'clock side, but I guess the Vulture was coming from that side, so he decided to take this 1 o'clock expansion here, just like how Free was playing. Interesting choice. But I would say that that Nexus, the 3rd Nexus timing is really fast. I mean, that 3rd Nexus has gone up with the single gateway. 1 gateway observer into 3 Nexus.
No, man. As a Terran, I hate it. I hate watching these Protoss players get away. I mean, how many goons does Protoss have? What's it, 4? But to be fair, I mean, every time Protoss sees a Vulture here, he's got to be thinking, well, that could have been a tank. And, well, Vultures just don't deal with goons that well. So no shocker to see the fast third Nexus. I did see Mong put down kind of a fast armory in his main. He does have scan already, so he's going to see the gateways come up and he's going to see no support bay, but we know that support bay could be at the natural, but not the case just yet.
So I guess Mong wanted to get a single comsat station, and now he's finally getting the second comsat station with the refinery over here. And Horang2 will be having that third expansion running soon. And this game is something that we get to see often, like the classic PvT where you go for gun op build into 4 gateway, no reaper build whatsoever. I wonder if Horang2 will be just putting down the Siraba Dune and the second simulator and go for maybe like a classic of a fast arbiter build. Okay, Forge is going up.
This really does look like typical Harangi, because there's the 7-minute to 7:30 Citadel, there's the 7-minute to 7:30 Forge, and if you look at the natural and the gas, he's not mining gas just yet. It just now completed. So Harangi's been focusing his minerals really hard, and he's going to explode in terms of supply very fast. This starport, in my opinion, is a bit of a gamble for Mong, because if it doesn't... Well, actually, I don't think this is actually to go for draw. I mean, it may be for draws, but I think this is kind of to fake out Harangi, because you see Harangi's looking for it with his op. He's like, where's your starport, dude? You used all enemy with 7 facts? But actually, we know that the starport's hidden, and probably not going to delay his +2 weapon timing at all.
Ooh, that observer does stop. Okay, now it returns to the destination where he chose, and we can see photon cannon is going up, and Horang2 should be probably thinking, hey, the game has been going for more than almost 8 minutes long, and you don't have that much of a factory in this game, like in this game timer. But now these vultures are doing some work here, picking up some probe.
Yeah, that was actually a big deal right there. Harangi lost, I think, 7 probes, and now Eco's starting to get evened out, but I realize Harangi still has 3 bases versus just 2, and that's the science facility right there. So Mong's really hidden this. He's really disguising this, making it seem like this is going to be a 2 base +1 timing, but now the observer sees the second factory. I think Harangi should figure out, like, hey, okay, you've just hidden the starport, but he still hasn't found it yet.
But I think he sensed something that where the starport is. I mean, there's absolutely no reason for there's absolutely no reason to put down second armory for Mong if he does not have the starport. But with that first observer at Mong's main base, he can figure out pretty much here, and the observer still does not get to spot the starport nor the science facility. Very unlucky.
Yeah, he just barely misses it, but I still don't think he's been fooled, because if you're going to go for a timing, we're at 10 minutes now. Where are your factories? Like, if you're going to go for a 2 base timing, the factories need to be done, 3 minutes ago, or started 3 minutes ago. So he's just playing this as if this is the 2-1. He's got his Arbiter Tribunal coming up. Vultures get into the 3rd base again, and he's going to get some more probe kills. This harassment has just done so much damage. He's at the natural too.
Well, this harassment, I feel like it wasn't a great result, and we can see from the observer is pointing out there's a double Arbiter Tribunal going up at Horang2's main base, and then he figures out, hey, I have my Tribunal already, but I'm building another one. Oh, okay, I made a mistake here. I'll be canceling it now. And Mong is finally adding up more factory here, but I don't see the third. Okay, there's a third command center finally going up. I didn't see there was on the minimap, so he's taking it. But all those vulture harassment that Mong has been doing is just so much that I don't think he will be having at least a 140 army at 12-minute mark. I mean, that's the main goal of TBP. Terran player always aim to have 140 army in 12-minute mark to hold off the 4 base. Well, it's not 4 base, but 3 base, like a heavy macro, and maxing out with the 11-minute, 12-minute max, go for the pressure here, and we can see how fast Horang2 is just keeping up the supply. 160 already.
Yeah, this really does look like it's going to be a bust. And those factories, they just started at like 10:30, and Arbiter started slightly before the factory. So once the Arbiter pops out, could be just go time, because he's going to know that there's not going to be that many macro cycles that Mong could have gotten in from those factories. He's at just 7 now. This really does look like typical Harangi. Speed not kicked in just yet. He's still on 3 bases, just now taking 4 bases. I do imagine that once Arbor comes out, he is just gonna, instantly try and pounce on this 3rd base. Goon's starting to clear out mines. Butter does have a lot of terrain for you to put down depots and bunkers and stuff to mess up the SimCity. You can also see barracks floating for SimCity. So it could be tough to attack, but Mong is approaching that critical 140 supply mark that you were talking about.
Yeah, 12 minute 130-ish. And we also have to exclude those supply from that 12 o'clock dropship. Maybe a couple of vultures are also inside. Some of the vultures at the 3 o'clock as well with the spider mines. So now this is the time where Horang is gonna go for the attack move.
Yep, and Forge, remember, was at 7 minutes, so about a minute from now, +2 weapon will kick in, or armor will kick in for Harangi, so this is not a +2 power spike for him. But here comes the attack. There's no stasis. Arbiter is fresh. Those zealots are so clumped up, though. They don't run into mines, but the tank and bunker are going to soak up so many hits. You can see supplies plummeted for both players. Zealots get on top of the tanks and the vultures. Is it enough for Terran to hold, though? The zealots have fizzled out, but there's still a decent amount of goons left over.
Yeah, Horang is absolutely beast with his macro, but I think those goons were pretty much glitched with the. There's a tiny the rectangle shape of the terrain is pretty much what's blocking, and then the barracks and then bunker and supply depot was soaking up so much of goon hit, and now Horangi, the timing attack was absolutely great before +2 kicks in for Mong, but I mean losing all those goons is just painful to watch.
Yeah, and goons take the same time to build as a tank, so it's going to be a while for Harangi to rebuild that goon count. And it's just crazy to see how strong a couple buildings are to help out Terran survive that attack. If there's no racks floating there, if there's no depot, I think Harangi wins that fight easily. The racks soaked up 500 points of damage, so that was critical for him to hold there. And now Harangi, who had a good early game, all of a sudden, he's not out of it, of course, but it's just 4 bases for him. And, Terran stabilized on 3 with good supply, so Mong's back into it.
And we can see Mong is finally adding the 3rd machine shop and the single arbiter. That's the first arbiter that has been saving up the energy, and those spider mines has been catching up all those Yeah, now the observer knows where the spider mines are, so he's gonna be going deeply and recalls top of the SCV. That's a lot of units he brought.
That is a ton of units, but the tanks pop out at the perfect time for Mong. A good D-matrix and good evacuation of the SCVs, but that was a great recall. And back on the other side of the map, Harangi's moving out. He knows that all the units were drawn out of position. Unfortunately, he's going to run into at least one mine there, take a big hit. But did that do enough damage? It looks like Terran really only lost vultures, and that's not a big loss for Terran.
One thing that I would like to point out was I can tell Mong didn't lose that much of a worker count at his main base, so I guess still looking great. I mean, he somehow managed to hold the first recall really well, and that's the second arbiter right now Harangi has. Gotta be careful not getting hit by the EMP. That second arbiter can be another chance for Harangi to go for another recall show. Okay, the vessel needs to run away.
Yep, good defense there by Mong to push the arbiter back. And supplies do get reset again, pretty much. We're 180 to 150. Like I said, I don't think Mong lost that many tanks to the recall, so his tank count should be pretty formidable right now. I do notice he's floating 1k gas, so maybe not as high as I thought, but still in an okay position. Just now Harangi taking his 5th base, and those arbiters are sharking around trying to find an angle for a recall if they can find a vulnerable spot.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna be using a couple of guns to clear the spider mines from there, and now that's the recall going top of the SCV line. That's another giant recall he has done. Jesus Christ, he's really good at recalling, bringing lots of army, but this time it's just not many guns, but zealots are taking down lots of SCV from what I'm seeing.
He's killing tons of SCVs. You know, I
Oh
thought
my
he
God.
may actually focus down the command center. Yeah, he killed every single SCV there. He's not going to get the command center, but look at Mong's supply. It just plummets. More Zealots moving into the left side. Now, this may be a mistake. He's kind of choked up here. There's no mines to trigger a big hit onto the tanks, so he does kind of bleed off a big chunk of supply there, maybe about 20 in Zealots, but he did kill so many SCVs. But I imagine Mong's going to be feeling the pressure now. I think he has to do something.
Yeah, Horangi is just constantly doing the recall show really amazingly, and some of the goons will go to the right side of the map, clear the spider mines and a vulture there. But one thing we have to know, Horangi is taking more bases slowly, and now Mong's main base is going to be mined out. Natural should be mined out maybe in the next couple more minutes or so. Yeah, I mean, he needs to restore the number of the worker count that he lost by the recall, and he just can't really move out. Look at the worker count. He has about like one group of SCP at the main, that's another one group of the natural, and I wonder how many he has as his third expansion. And the vessel!
Oh no. Loses a vessel to just the 12 goons that were sitting there, and Mong's going to move out, but like you said, there's so many losses to the SCV line that this, maybe all-in is not the right word, but he's going to have to do considerable damage here. Instead, he kills those 10 goons and backs off, which is a big win for him. He needed something like that, but he needs even more to try and catch up. Harangi's on 5 bases. Here comes another recall. This time around, Mong sniffs it out, and he's going to be definitely set up for this.
There's another giant recall we are seeing. I guess Horangi really loves to... Okay, that High Templar that spectator clicked, that had enough energy to use the storm, but the High Templar dies at the same time, and now these goons and Zealots are doing another great damage on the mineral line.
Yeah, Harangi is willing to just throw his army to make sure that Terran runs out of money. I mean, that's a definite win condition or way to win for Protoss. If you can just take the map and mine everything out and Terran runs out of money, well, you'll eventually win. So Terran's gonna take 4th base. Mong's done a good job now to catch up in supply. It's it was 135 to 150 a minute ago. It shoots up to 175 for Harangi now.
Yeah, that's a very cute gateway sim city from what I'm seeing. And I want to see if Horangi actually has a second Stargate to macro or make 2 Arbiter at a time. Because he really loves to go for the Arbiter recall, and whenever you do the Arbiter recall, you're always going to be, most likely you will be losing the Arbiter. And I guess Horangi is waiting for another recall show. I guess he doesn't want to really move.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what the Arbiter count is. It's at least 1, obviously, because we see it. I would imagine at least 2, because he probably has one out there trying to recall again. But not many high-tech units. What's that, 3 Templars, 1 Arbiter? If Mong continues to just camp and get a good sim city like this, he could come back. That's a lot of units flooding up the ramp. If the second depot could have gotten up, this could have been a disaster. But instead, he's able to actually kill a decent amount of tanks and Goliaths and Vultures. And actually, Mong did not respect this attack. Tons of Zealots moving into the mid-right base. Maybe eventually... Oh, Storm getting on the high ground. So I think Mong is not going to be able to defend this.
I guess he wants to use the Storms on the top of the siege tank, and that is going to hurt Horangi so much, and Zealots are attached to those siege tanks, and whenever tanks are not protected with the Vulture line, that is going to be another big loss for Mong. I mean, we know Mong, this is like the spear versus spear, like I've been always mentioning, like both of the players has the highest win rate of this matchup. Mong is really good at PvP, and Horangi has amazing win rate in PvP as well, 7 winning streak, and now I don't know how Mong is going to be keeping up the game. I mean, he constantly loses the SCV. He needs to rebuild the number of SCV once again, and that's just so much of a loss from here.
Yeah, Terran just doesn't have the money anymore, and still continue to see Mong float a ton of gas. He just can't build the mass tanks he needs because he just doesn't have the mineral resources. 4th base does survive, so he's going to reset up there, but that's a massive transfer to mid-left. That puts Harangi on 6 bases, and again, critically, the Arbiter doesn't die. So Well, I don't think the Arbiter died. I still only see one though, but so maybe it did. But we've got another potential recall coming, or big stasis.
Yeah, one Arbiter has 160 energy, but okay, he'll be using both of the Arbiter for the stasis field. He wants to break the front line, but where are the Zealots? I don't see much of a Zealot. If it's just pure Guns and a High Templar, then they are getting melted. But now the reinforcement from the behind line, you can see lots of straight line is coming. That must be the Zealots are coming, and I guess Harangi wants to end the game here, but a lot of Guns are getting melted. He needs to focus more here.
Yeah, this is probably it. Zealot's getting on top of the tanks, more units streaming in, and those units are still stasis, so he can just sit there and wait for them to unfreeze and just kill everything. Well, maybe not. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here. If he can land an EMP on those Templars, maybe he can save the army.
And now tanks are getting defrost, but he has been waiting for until those siege tank gets defrost, and now this trade somehow, okay, I didn't expect there would be another like a 6 Zealot be coming from the right side, and now Vulture, Spider-Mine, Dragon, and now picking up those Zealots, and look at those upgrades. 3-2 upgrade already completes, and that Arbiter has 77 energy. I don't think he's gonna be getting hit by the EMP.
Harangi's just done such a good job to kill the tanks all game long and obviously kill the SCVs. I mean, when there's been a big fight, Mong's done pretty well to defend, but in these scrappy situations, Harangi's killed just so many tanks and really reset the econ over and over and over for Terran. Terran's never able to stabilize. And again, Mong's just struggling to set up a fourth base here. He does transfer his SCVs there, but Harangi, he's got still big eco. Finally, a win here for Terran. He's going to kill some probes. But I don't really think those probes matter that much to Harangi.
Yeah, that was about like a one group of probe that he just lost. But I mean, Protoss is already mining on 3 base and losing that 12 workers from that third expansion. I guess I don't think it's going to be affecting him that much, and that is just going to be having open supply for Horang2 to make 6 more units, like 6 more guns or 6 more Zealots.
Yeah, it's just going to make his army bigger, but I was going to say I'm getting worried that Harangi's money's so low, but it's just low because he's been spending it so well. I saw it go down to 55. I was like, well, maybe the probe catches were a bigger impact than I thought, but you can see the probe line over there. I mean, that's basically perfect saturation for him. So he's still fine. He's still up 60 supply. He's still got multiple arbiters all over the map. And again, Mong, he needs to get this fourth base. He doesn't have like a depot wall really prevent Protoss from getting out. Oh no, another arbiter to the third base, and there's no defense other than these 5 mines.
Oh my god. Okay, there's another giant recall. He brought the probe. Not sure why he brought the probe, but I guess I don't think he's gonna be putting down the Nexus, but I guess that was a little bit of a mistake that somehow Pro was there. But the command center is going to be on fire. It might. Okay, it's not burning down, but okay, that's a good thing. But there's lots of storms going to be thrown on those siege tank. Vultures are getting melted as well. Buttering bread on the Vulture, and just a couple hits with the. Okay, is that another recall? That must be another recall show. Such a late EMP there. EMP hits on the High Templar, but doesn't really matter because those Zealots are going to be finishing up those siege tank, high ground siege tank. Guns are going to be climbing up. Mong is struggling.
GG comes out from Mong, and that was just amazing play for Harangi. Just recalls everywhere. You know it's Artosis's nightmare. Like, he's definitely not going to want to see this game, but that was actually really well done. I liked the very end, that last recall, where Harangi, as soon as the recall completed, he just instantly ran the Zealots into the mineral line. You could see his focus there was to just reset the econ over and over and over and never let Mong get going, and he never did. And that allowed him to win the game, and that means we've got Rush versus Harangi coming up, and Harangi looks really damn good.
And one thing that we have to know, Rush and Horang2, they were also in the same team in Kespa era, CJ Entus.
Yeah, that is true. So you know they've played versus each other a lot. I'm sure they have a ton of history. But, you know, Free almost took down Rush earlier on Butter. So I could see a world where Harangi makes it out in first place. Originally, when I saw this group, I thought, okay, for sure Rush is going to make it out, and then it was kind of up in the air for me with Free and Mong, but Harangi really putting on a good showing TVP. And as I stated, our winners match is going to be Rush versus Harangi. We're going to be going into a oh, we're not going into the break. We've got the Hot Six commercial scan.
Yes, we can see from the cameraman on the right side, he's shooting on the Hot 6 commercial here, Hot 6 banner.
All right. Well, let's talk about this game for a second. Of course, you're the Terran expert here. Where do you think it went wrong for Mong? Obviously, the early game with the probe harassment, that was a nightmare. But it seemed like he stabilized with the Vulture drops.
In my opinion, I mean, he figured out Protoss wasn't going for Reaper build or nor like a High Templar like Stormblood whatsoever. But whenever like something that I heard from Light, like Light was saying, whenever you're facing against like a pure Arbiter build, you should not go for heavy Vulture harassment again on the worker line on the probe line, because if you're just constantly wasting those vultures on exchanging your vultures for enemies probe, then your supply won't be like keeping up really well, and then Protoss is just losing the probe only, and they're not really getting hurt on the army, and army size is slowly getting bigger and bigger, and that just kind of falls behind for to defend on the 12-minute mark with the like a 200 supply Protoss, the big ball attack, and somehow Mong managed to hold off really well. But the thing was, the trade for Horangi, like he decently trade those Guns Zealots with the Mong siege tank, and that could be the one of the reason why Mong was kind of lacking with the siege tank count, and just thing didn't work out well.
Yeah, I thought that he did a really good job with the Vulture harassment, and then when he held the big bust that Harangi went for, I thought, okay, wow, Mong really did it. He really evened out the game. But then what really just changed the tides was those nonstop recalls into the mineral lines. I love how the cameraman keeps cutting to that guy in the stands. He's got his own hot six. He's part of the commercial, man.
Yeah, I guess he wants to drink hot six together. Okay, I guess he finished the can.
Dang, he chugged it just about as fast as Into the Rain. Looks like commentators love it too. Oh, that's hilarious.
And that was somewhat funny to see how audience is also joining and having spending the time together with the commentator here drinking the hot six together. I wonder if he actually brought the hot six. Okay, never mind. We are going into the commercial break, and we'll be coming back soon.
We are back. We are getting into our winners match now. Rush versus Harangi. We see an Odyssey ban and an Arkanoid ban, and that means we're going to have Allegro.
So I guess Horang does not want to play on the concept map like a new Arkanoid, because we have seen Horang just playing completely standard playstyle, like how he has gone for the what is it, the Arbiter build, like a classic PvT playstyle, and those are the girls are rooting for players, ASL players, and yeah, it looks like Horang is playing really well. I wonder how well he's going to be playing against the Tier 1 Terran. He took down Tier 2 Terran, Mong. And I wonder how well he's going to be playing against Tier 1 Terran on this group stage.
Yeah, he looked really good. He did have a dream opener, getting the multiple SCB kills and, of course, forcing the fast gas. But I think he's got his work cut out for him with Rush. Mong's great, but like I said, when you think of top Terrans, it's Light, and then it goes Rush and Royal. Like, those are the top three for sure, without a doubt. So it's going to be tough for Harangi. And also, I remember Light mentioning that actually he's not a big fan of, Gateway Man into Arbiter play. I think I remember hearing him say, like, basically you stop the recall, take take fast at third base, fourth base, and you're just in a dream situation. So if Harangi continues to play like that, I think Rush will have a better time than Mong did. And also he's got a big map, Allegro, so there's going to be 4 bases or 3 bases for him to take quite quickly. Maybe not, though. We'll see if Harangi can work his magic. We are getting into the game. It's Rush versus Harangi on Allegro.
Oh, your mic is muted, Nyoken.
Oh, my mistake. I accidentally muted it. I said in the top left we had Rush, and in the top right we've got our red Protoss. It is Harangi. So we've got horizontal spawns on for our game. Do you think this will affect either player's openers here? Do you think we might see like a pressure build, like 3 tank push from Terran?
Well, I think it's somewhat better position for Rush because Rush's third expansion is far away for Horangi to attack on the third expansion and then the fourth expansion. So I find it's somewhat easy for Rush to defend his third expansion here. And I'm not sure who that guy is, but he's saying that something about the chairman is watching his game. And some other fans are here rooting for the ASL. And we see Palan Scott from Horangi. So this is a type of strategy that Mini does often in 4-player map. Whenever you see a 4-player map, we often get to see a classic center playstyle like the Gateway Scout or maybe the Core Scout. But nowadays, Mini reinvented the playstyle of this PvT 4-player map. You still do the Pylon Scout, and you give it like the 66% chance, like finding the turn really fast in the early stage of the game. If you do the first scout, then you can go for the gas steal, but the second scout, that is going to be a cross spawn, so that is going to be turning out into like a gateway expansion. But never mind, Horangi is planning something else. He's just going to be going for Nexus first.
Yep, he's going into that Nexus first opener, and with the very fast scout, the Nexus is not going to be as fast as it could have been. So this could backfire a little bit if Rush goes for a Marine Vulture SCV pull. Unfortunately for Harangi, he's going to find Rush last. Whereas Rush, he's going to find this Nexus instantly, and he'll be able to respond appropriately.
And now the SCV confirms there's a Nexus being warped, so I think if I were Rush... Oh wait, is Rush gonna be putting down the factory there? No, that's just way too greedy to put down the... way too greedy to put down the factory at the mineral line. So yeah, we can see Rush is skipping the SCV production. He immediately makes the second Marine on the way. He's hiding that scouting SCV, and he will be... Yeah, he should be going out for the scout soon.
Yep, and the probe does have vision of that Marine, so he knows that the Marine's coming, and probably. And I like how Rush just comes in now to kind of say like, "Hey, I didn't know you were going for 12 Nexus, but well, now I do." But I think Harangi's kind of already suspected that because the Marine continued to chase. Meanwhile, 3rd and 4th Marine are coming out, so that means and Depot being built. So this is definitely gonna be a Marine Ultra SCV pull. He's gonna try and take down this Nexus instantly.
Well, obviously, we only see a single gateway from Horangi, so the maximum unit that he will be having when Rush is coming will be 2 Zealot in a single gun. So, of course, Rush needs to execute this or takes down the Nexus because it's just way too greedy. I mean, if you just letting Horangi to take that second base for a long time, then Rush will be falling behind. So he will be pulling 6 SCV, I believe.
Yeah, it didn't look like a ton of SCVs. Like, it's not 9 for sure. It's like 6 SCVs, like you said. Harangi's in trouble. And what I'm noticing here is there's no pylon at the front, which means there's no chance for there to be a battery. So these 2 Zealots that's it. If the SCVs get behind the Zealots, he can actually just force them to fight. And then, I mean, he would lose them instantly. Harangi's just going to give it up immediately. There was no way for him to hold this. So he doesn't really get much out of that, but I guess Terran did lose 7 or so SCVs from mining for a while, but this didn't seem like the trade that Harangi was really looking for.
A very good cheese from Rush, and Horangi will just instantly giving up the Nexus because he knows that his second gateway was slow to hold off, and also he has done the pylon scout in early stage of the game, so everything is delayed. Like the 12 Nexus is not that as fast as we are expecting, and the Gun and 2 Zealot are also kind of delayed compared to the regular 12 Nexus build. So we are seeing Rush is getting the Spider Mine research on the way, and with the Marine and some of the Vultures are looking for any sort of hiding probe, like a proxy building somewhere.
Yeah, this was a really smart move because if you think about it from Terran's perspective, it's like, well, wait a minute. You didn't even attempt to save your Nexus. And remember, Terran only saw 1 gateway. So Terran's probably like, dude, you must have hidden proxy gates or like DT tech or something, right? Like, there's no way you just gave up the Nexus, right? But he lets the Vulture get in. And the Vulture's going to come in here and see that there's actually nothing going on.
Oh, yeah, he does get to see the robotic facility, so he knows the robotic facility is not that as fast as he's going to be assuming. Those are the 3 spider mines at the natural. I wonder if... Oh! Okay, it doesn't hit.
Yeah, I'm just looking at how much of the map Rush scouted. I mean, he literally scouted the entire map for the proxy. Look at it. It's completely covered. Everything is basically scouted except for maybe the top right corner of bottom right. That's it, because he really thought there was going to be hidden something. And Harangi is a player that will hide tech. He does do that sometimes. So nice scouting from Rush. He does confirm there's nothing going on. And Command Center's about done for Rush. Meanwhile, Nexus just started for Harangi. And he's going to have to get some successful harassment, because if he doesn't, Rush is just going to start running away with it in terms of supply.
I'm seeing Rush is already making the second refinery for some reason. I don't know if he has the armory at his main base, but the one vulture that he has scouted and all those intel that he got collected, you can see how greedy Rush is playing. I mean, some of the players are scared of the Reaver drop or maybe like a DT follow after gun range upgrade or whatsoever, but look at how late the eBay is, and he's just trying to be as greedy as much as possible, and the supply count is nearly the even. And yeah, I guess Horang is still struggling to move out his gun. Okay, he's waiting for the observer to be moving out.
Yeah, and Harangi's built quite a lot of goons too, so it's not like he could have used those resources to double expand. Like, he's got I think he actually has almost 10 goons. This is a lot of resources into units that really aren't helping him right now, because we see Rush is just content with sitting on his side of the map, and that just makes it an even better position for Terran right now. There's
finally, the Nexus is finally going up, and I don't think Rush knows about the third expansion yet, but the random vultures at the 12 o'clock side, I guess that single vulture at the 12 o'clock side is he wants to see where the shuttle is coming. So I guess that one vulture will be sacrificed at the 12 o'clock, but the other vulture will be picking up the probe, evenly trade.
Yep, does kill the probe, does confirm the third nexus, and look at that, instantly puts down factory. So this could be the 5, 6, or 7 fact timing that I know Rush does use sometimes, and that mineral only base is towards Terran. So I imagine that this is going to be really hard for Harangi to stop. We've seen the first shuttle out, and we know the reason why Rush rushed that gas. It's because he wants to have the heavy factory count and heavy tank count at the same time. The tank count's sitting at like 7 right now.
I think Rush skipped the armory. I mean, I haven't seen the armory anywhere. I mean, not even at the main, not even at the natural. So I think Rush is just gonna be going for no armory, the 5 fact timing, and there's another building is going up at the main base. That must be the academy follow up. Okay, that's total 8 gateway from Horangi.
Yeah, 8 gateway. I would say that's pretty much close to the minimum you need to hold like a 5 fact timing like this. Reaver coming out or a Rush moving out, I mean, and Reaver is going to get into position to try and stall it. This is a decent amount of goons, but there's no zealot support, so he's not able to actually draw some focus fire from the tanks onto the zealots. Here comes, no. Okay, yeah, he is going to try, no, he is not going to try and attempt to shuttle bomb with the zealot Reaver combo.
Yeah, the Reaver unloads, but hits got hit. Lots of hit. I mean, that shuttle needs to be careful. I mean, the Reaver is dangerously low red HP. I want to see the Reaver's HP, but the one scare shot does connect on the sea tank. That's a nice one. But the supply count is nearly even, and even if the supply count shows that Horangi has more, those are the pretty much like the queued in the gateway, 8 gateway. So we have to subtract 14 supply of that what we are seeing at the top.
Yeah, man, this was such a fast push. I didn't expect Rush to be on top of the Nexus already, and I think Terran has lost 1 tank. That's it. There's 4 Marines here. They shoot the shuttle down, I mean, and that means that there's no hope of him stopping this. He has no Reaver anymore. All he has is gateway units. He's gonna have speed, but mines are already set up, and there's not that many goons to help support these zealots.
Well, I suppose the 8 winning streak is now going to be stopped by Rush, and Rush is playing really well. These tanks are just pretty much buttering the bread and then picking up some guns over there, and now whenever there are no guns, these zealots are the zealots are always going to be vulnerable, and vultures are pretty much going to be doing the vulture micro to pick up some guns. And I think, okay, there's not much of a Spider-Man's remaining, but here it looks like the engagement will be going in, but lots of vultures and sea tanks are here.
Yeah, and that single mine hit like the entire zealot line. The zealots still get in on the tanks, but it doesn't matter. Supplies plummet for Harangi, and there's the GG, and Rush quickly takes game 3, and he's going to move out in first place of our final group of the round of 24.
Well, that's just completely amazing how Rush showed two different sides of the face. I mean, one side of the game that he showed completely heavy upgrade Terran play against free, and then second game on this winners bracket he showed, hey, I can also play timing attack without armory. I can kill you. And I believe Horangi wasn't expecting of this 5-fact timing, because we saw he was kind of just staying on a 2 gateway Reaver into 3 nexus. But then with the first observer where he scouted the 5 factory, oh my god, I have to add lots of gateway and try to somehow manage to hold up, but just didn't work out well.
Yeah, it was really well done from Rush, and we're going to get into the interview with him in just a second, get his thoughts on those games. That armory, yeah, I like, when you talk to pros, they talk about how you must have upgrades, or you got to have some sort of upgrades. I'm surprised it was not even just +1, but maybe that was the extra few seconds that Rush needed to make that push work, and it worked very well. I just don't understand how pros make it look so easy to kill 12 Nexus and kill Protoss, but Rush executed it well.
So that was the ASL Season 14 Round of 24 Group F. The first player will be advancing into round of 16. He will be Rush. Congratulations. And throughout this group stage, you showed a really amazing performance on this game number 1 and game number 2. And Rush is saying about the game number 1, he wanted to show how dominant he can be in the game, but he made some mistakes and he was just getting all this excitement going on in his body, like adrenaline was pumping up, and he just made some mistake there, and he wasn't somewhat he was somewhat made some mistake there, and he was also somewhat shocked how well Free managed to hold off. So yeah, Rush is saying he was somewhat scared how well Free was fighting back. He wanted to show how strong he was in game number 1 on Butter.
기세를 몰아붙여서 또 승리를 가져가셨는데 확실히 예선을 통해서 몸을 제대로 풀고 온 유영진 선수 더 강하게 느껴지는 것 같거든요.
The MC she's asking Rush, you played this ASL Season 14 since ASL qualifier, and you pretty much probably warmed up since then, and you were playing really well on the group stage. And how are you going to be preparing for the round of 16? So she's saying that these games are pretty much kind of like a warming up game for him, so he will try his best in the round of 16 when the group nomination is done. So every time whenever there's a group nomination, we always have to talk about Rush and Soma. They're always kind of like the rivalry between. And Rush is saying that Rush and Soma, they both are in the same university team, Bosford team, and they know each other. I mean, they've always been like playing each other so many games on SpawnBang online matches, but he kind of wants to play against Soma in round of 16. He wants to play against Soma on round of 16. He wants to be in the same group. Any last word? Any last word? Any last word to your fans and people? So Rush is saying that there's not much of time for him to practice because he also has to spend his time to prepare for the university battle tournament, and he also wants to say thanks to his wife and the chairman, the Bosford chairman, Gams. Thanks for rooting for his game and giving him space of time to practice for the individual tournament. He also wants to say thanks to the practice partner, Royal, YC, and Motive. Thank you to them. And thank you for the interview, and we'll see you again in the round of 16 group nomination.
Well, I would love to see Rush versus Soma. Those two players, I think, last year had over 2,000 sponsored games between them, and it was something like a 52% win rate, I think, in favor of Rush. So they are very evenly matched. I would love to see them face off in the round of 16. But that's going to be in, a few days from now, potentially. We've got our losers match coming up. It's Mong versus Free, so don't go anywhere. We're back, StarCraft fans, and it's time for our losers match. It is another Odyssey ban and another Arkanoid ban, which means we're going to have Allegro again, which we just saw between Rush and Harangi. This time around, it's going to be Mong versus Free, and Free looked quite impressive versus Rush. I think Mong had good defense. He really couldn't get anything going in the early game, but if he can have a better early game, I think he's got a good shot versus Free.
And we can see from Freeze, the cameraman is showing Freeze's face. I think Freeze seems somewhat tired from what I'm seeing here. Maybe he's just not feeling that great. But even if he's feeling tired, but if we try to remember how well he was performing on a game number 1 against Rush, I mean, tier 1 player, I mean, I think he can still give it a shot. I mean, we saw Horangi was playing really, really well and took down Mong in game number 1 on Butter, so why not? I mean, Free is really good at amazing at the battle too.
Yeah, he has really good battle tactics, and now we're on a 4-player map where I was saying I think the fact that the first map was Butter really hurt him, because if he could have had 3/4 of the map and had flanks and big attacks like that, more eco, I think he could have won for sure. Now he's got that opportunity going up versus Mong. Let's see if he can secure a victory. Okay, in the top left position are Red Terran. It is Mong. And in the bottom left are Yellow Protoss. It is Free. Now we did see fast pylon scout from Harangi last game. Is Free someone that goes for the fast pylon scout like Harangi, or do you think we'll just probably see a normal opener from him?
Yeah, we are seeing oh, I forgot to turn on the sound. So yeah, we are seeing Free. I wonder if he will be doing the same thing like how Horangi was doing with the Pylon Scout or whatsoever, but we are okay. Oh yeah, so that's Free's teammate, CP team. CP teammates are here and rooting for Free here, and we are seeing Free is not gonna be doing the Pylon Scout like how Horang2 was doing, and rooting for Mong, drawing a piggy face on the poster.
But we do not see the fast pylon scout like we saw from Harangi last game. And Mong not getting gas stolen means he's not going to have to cut an SCV to build. Okay, that SCV going up there, I thought he might rush gas, but not the case. Is this going to be, whoa, okay, we might actually have a bit of a switch up here. Looks like we could have gasless expand. We don't see that much these days, but if he can get this up and running, this is a fantastic opener for Terran. Uh-oh, 12 Nexus.
Yeah, I guess this time Free Horangi was doing the Pylon Scout into a 12 Nexus, but I guess Free will be doing no Probe Scout and puts down the 12 Nexus here. And we are seeing Mong is playing greedy here with the Rax. He wants to go for the Rax expansion, but he's also doing the 12 Scout. But interestingly to know, Rush has gone the scout to the right side, but Mong has gone the scout to the bottom side, so this is very unlucky for Free.
Yeah, well, what's this SCV gonna do? It's gonna be a proxy Rax? Could it be a potential second Rax? I don't know. Well, what's your opinions on this situation? If you knew Protoss was going 12 Nexus, would you prefer to gasless expand, or would you want to go for 12 gas here?
I think either way, I think either way it works out well, but I think Mong probably is gonna be putting down the 2 Marine production into command center, but I wonder if he's gonna be pulling out the SCV to go for the small cheese here. Oh wait, what is this? Forge. Oh, he cancels it.
Oh, he canceled it, but the SCV's just got pulled. Oh my gosh, Free's gonna be kicking him. Oh, and he misses the SCV. Well, he did just barely see the back one, but did he really see it?
Too much mind game is going on of these two players. I mean, Free probably have seen Mong's first SCV scout was coming, so he knows there's gonna be something like a small cheese will be coming. But where are the Zealots going? Where are you going?
Yeah, he just took so much damage for free. And an SCV Marine pull, which, I mean, it can work, but it doesn't work that often without Vulture support. It's gonna work very effective.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a great drill. The probes really saved the day there, but is it enough?
Well, the answer is the Marine
Oh
won't
my
be
God.
able to get in.
Oh, that was clutch control from Free to save the game. I mean, it's only just one Marine, but still, getting in the bunker would have been so annoying. Really nicely done. And also, he picked off a lot of SCVs there. I mean, Mong lost like 3 SCVs. He's not mining gas. I mean, well, he does need to clean up this bunker. And I'm surprised. Oh, he does surround it. SCVs can't repair it. But at least now the Marines will rack up some kills. I mean, they get, well, maybe not. They get 1 kill of the probe, and that's it.
Now those submarine will be just going inside of Free's main base. But what is Free doing? I mean, he's just not reacting. I guess he just wants to go for the counter attack. I guess he wants to hold up this probe harassment with the probe. But losing those 1 probe. Okay, maybe he might be able to pick up the second probe, but maybe not.
Yeah, good control to save the probe. Also, equally good control from Mong to almost get that probe. 3 Marines in the bunker. These Zealots are just gonna try and walk by, but the SCV body blocks. He does lose the SCV though, going into the mineral line. No,
nice.
Really good snipe right there in control with the SCVs to prevent them from getting in.
Look at how fast the factory is compared to the core timing. Now core just finished. No goons production yet whatsoever, but Free just constantly sending that Zealot all the way there, and now the second factory is going up, and the scouting SCV will be finding out what exactly Free is doing.
Yeah, he's gonna see nothing unusual going on. Robo just now started, so he doesn't have to scramble to rush an eBay. He will have some time before that gets across the map. We do see second factory from Mong coming up. I didn't see an armory anywhere, but we could see it in the next few seconds or so. But, well, I was going to say the second gas is kind of interesting for Free, but I realize now that we're 6 minutes in the game and it's kind of an unusual game state. So it is him just kind of catching up in gas. I don't think he's going to use that to rush carriers or anything.
Yeah, we are seeing robotic facilities about to be being completed, and we see third gateway is already going up. So I guess Free is somewhat definitely aware of something like a 3 tank pressure. But what is this double machine shot at the same time? That's something unusual. Usually you get to see the first tank production on the way and then adding the second add-on. But very interesting. But one thing that we have to know from this game would be the Free's second gas timing was really fast.
Yeah, it was fast, but we haven't seen any gas-intensive units be built. Look at that Zealot control. He gets back in time. That is super hard to do. I mean, that means he had to be watching that position the entire time. So really nicely done there. And the armory is at the natural of Mong, so he does have good armory timing for how the game state or how the game has flowed. He's got ComSat going down. He wants to figure out whether this is Observer or Support Bay. We know that it's Observer.
Yeah, the eBay is going up. I mean, I haven't heard any of a ComSat station like the scanning going on, but yeah, there's the first scan goes off, confirms. Oh, 3 gate up. Boom. I guess maybe he might be able to cancel the eBay, but I guess he's not going to be canceling the eBay. If I were him, I would be canceling the eBay and maybe try to spend that extra mineral for something else, but I guess he wants to play safe. And we see Free is finally adding some expansion and an additional pylon wall there.
And you can't fault him for playing safe, right? Because just because you don't see the support bay in the main doesn't mean it's not at the natural or something. And those vultures do get a kill onto the goons. So that's a good trade there. Lose 1 vulture for 1 goon, and he still got a couple of mines set up for vision. The vultures... Okay, he's not going to confirm the 3rd Nexus timing. And so far, nothing unusual going on. There's no factory flood. I think that's just the 3rd fact going down in Mong's base.
Vultures are trapped, and now those vultures cannot sneak out. Yeah, it's a waste of vulture. I feel like Mong is playing these vulture play way too aggressive. And like I said, I mentioned from last game on Butter, Mong versus Horangi. If you're constantly wasting your vulture for like this, nothing trades off really well, like not picking up any probe or no result from there.
Whoa, I was not expecting this. This is me a 5-fact. Okay, no, it's not gonna be a 5-fact like all in follow. It is still got Starport as natural, so this might just be. Honestly, I don't know. I was gonna say a defensive 5-fact, but is that really a thing? I'm not too sure. It could still be 2 + 2 weapon 7-fact. But Protoss already has their third base up and running, and like you said, Terran's lost vultures for almost nothing in return, so you can see it already reflected in supply. Frees up almost 30. No third command center anywhere.
Yeah, from this game, I guess the reason for Mong has gone for the 5-5 would be maybe he just constantly wasting the vulture way too hard, and he probably thought that he cannot take the third expansion with like a 3-4 factory, like how Rush was doing. So I guess he just wants to play something more aggressive with the vulture playstyle and add 5 factory immediately. And here's the one thing that we have to know once again, like stuff that I learned from Light said Terran needs to take the third expansion before 12-minute mark, and if you're taking the third expansion after the 12-minute mark, like the 13-minute mark or 14-minute mark of the game, then your macros just completely falls behind against the Protoss army where they hit 200 max supply at the 12-minute mark and a giant attack with the big ball comes. Here we see the Arbiter Tribunal is going up for free. I guess free doesn't want to play the Shadow Reaver playstyle because he learned his lesson that, hey, Russia was holding off the Speed Shuttle playstyle really well, so I'll be just going for the Arbiter playstyle like how Horangi was doing.
Yeah, and when you're facing Arbiter play like this, you don't want to be stuck on low econ that Terran's on right now. I mean, still only 2 base. I think Command Center just started. So 10:30 started Command Center. Is probably going to land by 12 minutes. Now that tank, I don't think can range the mineral line from there, but maybe it can. Okay, no, it does not. He just that tank or that cannon should range that.
I guess he wanted to check the the range of the photon cannon, but he probably thought that he found a sweet spot. It wasn't. Yeah, 2 guns are sitting at home, about to pick up the dropship. Okay, maybe he needs to clear the spider mine first. Okay, nicely done.
Kept really good control from both sides. He sacks a goon to clear up all the mines, but he loses a second goon. May end up losing 3 goons, but the tank and dropship get taken out. And we saw the scan at the natural a moment ago, and I thought, okay, well, there's going to be another drop. And here it is. Tank and vulture set up again, and those probes clump up. He hits a big shot, takes down maybe 3 or so.
Yeah, that's 4 kills so far. Not a big trade, I would say. I mean, Mong is having a floated mineral. I mean, he needs to do something, and like I said, 12-minute mark of the game. Wait, I heard just something dying. That must be the Masculine just died.
Oh my god. I don't know if that was a move commander or what, or how the heck those died, but tons of goons ended up falling, and those are the trades that Mong's looking for to try and catch up in supply. Remember, his vulture harass early on didn't really do much, so he needed something like that to go in his favor, and he's closed the gap where it was 125 to 140 a minute ago. Now it's up to 160 for free. And this, oh my god, mines do so much damage to zealots. But there's no SimCity really here. There's no depot, there's no floated racks, so this still could get busted. But those zealots have taken so much damage to the mines that I think it would be a mistake, even without the SimCity, for free to try and bust through here.
Yeah, Mong is just playing absolutely well here. I mean, I thought he was playing way too aggressive with the vulture playstyle, but he got all those reward with the vulture harassment that he has been doing, and picking up some probe and trading out some goons. And yeah, he's just keeping the rule. He's just keeping the rule really well. He took the third expansion at the 12-minute mark, and where Free wanted to go for the giant attack at the 12-minute mark, but all those the main army got hit on the spider mine. Now he just can't really do anything, and it looks like the 2-1 upgrade now completes.
Yeah, and I wasn't really a big fan of Mong's position a couple minutes ago, but now supplies are so close and 2-1's kicked in, and he's got his third base. He's killed so many goons. He's had mine connections. All of a sudden, I really do like his position right now. Free just now taking a fourth base. The Terrans hasn't really lost any tanks either. I mean, the tank count is high too, and he's got vessel out for EMP. Everything looks solid for Mong. Free now starting to take the entire bottom side of the map. You can see the main nexus being taken at bottom right.
Yeah, lots of Spider-Man being placed at the main base, and that's a really interesting factory placement, how he's macroing. But yeah, looks like the army is coming. Maybe those are the goons who are trying to have some vision and map control at the center of the map, but I don't know what we can really do. I mean, he just has to sit and turtle up like how he was playing from the game number 1.
Oh, those are zealots. I thought those were going to be goons also. So the zealots obviously can't intercept the dropship. Mines are going to get set up. There's no observer here, so Free again is going to take some big mine hits, and this also draws a lot of supply to the right side. So if Mong went for like a big attack on the left side, this is 25 supply, not in Free's army right now.
Yeah, vultures are doing some work, and it looks like the first arbiter is about to have enough energy. I wonder if he's just gonna go for the stasis field and break that line, but I don't think it's gonna be working well. But that's in a fourth commencer I have seen at the third expansion.
Yeah, so he's intending to take mid left, and that means he's gonna fortify that while continuing to push the left side. I like that base because it shuts down, or if you build turrets there, you don't have to worry about recall on that side of the map anymore. But
that's
oh my
just
god, that is a billion turrets. Doesn't matter, gets in anyways. But mines clear a couple of the units instantly. It does force Mong back, but I mean, he already had some units here, so this is gonna be an easy cleanup for him.
Yeah, that wasn't much of an army recall at the Mong's main base, so Mong easily going to pick up the army nicely there, and he's probably going to be replacing the Spider-Man momentarily, and the command center is he needs to send that command center towards the 9 o'clock side, but I guess he hasn't.
Yeah, he does need to get bottom left, and there's double forward spinning. I was looking at Free's upgrades. He's only on +1 weapon, despite it being almost 16 minutes into the game. He does really need to get at least +2 in the next couple minutes, because +3 weapon for Terran and +2 armor is going to be kicking in just a second. You know Mong's going to be looking to get out into the map.
Oh my god, the
4
Nexus.
vultures. Yeah, he's going to cancel that Nexus. That's a big win for just 4 vultures.
Yeah, that's 100 mineral loss for canceling the Nexus there for free. And I guess Mong changes his mind. He'll be taking the expansion towards the 12 o'clock side. I don't think there's a floating command center at the 9 o'clock side, so that must be just something like a giant building going towards to the right side of the map to take the 12 o'clock expansion instead. And here's the big engagement, should be coming momentarily. Those two arbiter has enough energy for 1 recall or 1 something else.
Ooh,
oh,
he misses it. The top arbiter didn't have energy anyways, and this is not the angle Free wants. So many tanks already set up. He gets a few Dragoon kills for free, and at the same time, mid left is being set up by Mong.
Oh, I guess Mong is going to be taking both of the expansion. That must be the command center being added at the 9 o'clock side. That must be the 5th command center, and then there's a floating command center at the 12 o'clock. One of the arbiter has 177 energy. The other one should have enough energy for another second stasis field, but look at the siege tank arc. It's just too good for Mong, and I don't find a good position for Free to do anything. And there's an arbiter recall.
Oh, he got it.
Does go off.
He gets it off, and he's gonna get on top of the mineral line. But we've got a huge Terran counterattack to bottom right. Remember, Preuss has a lot of bases. They got 5 bases. Mong needs to at least kill, I would say, 2 bases here. He's gonna loop around to the 3rd base. He's gonna knock this one down, but that's gonna cut off reinforcements. He could take down the 4th base. But at the same time, if Free just did a massive counterattack, I mean, this is all of Mong's supply. I don't think Mong has any defense. He's gonna try and defend this with just half his army. There is 1 stasis available, and it gets the back tanks. That's not bad, but there's still just so much Terran.
There's so much of a Terran army coming in. Those recall did stop the third expansion, but the thing is, Mong just saturated the 12 o'clock expansion once again, so that's total 3 base mining from Mong, and he does have another command center at the 9 o'clock, so he should be lifting up that command center later on, maybe take that mineral expansion once again. Look at how Mong is fast and splitting up his army, taking down mineral expansion plus 6 o'clock expansion, and I guess he's just gonna be shifting all of his army towards to the right side. Maybe not. I guess he wants to back off.
Yeah, I think he could have taken bottom right, but backing off is also the safe move here, right? Where you got to remember, Terran's on 1 base mining. If you lose top middle, probably you lose simply because you can't produce anymore. And Protoss still has bottom right and his Nat still running, actually. His minerals, he's actually surprisingly has minerals there. So I think that was a wise move for Mong, not willing to risk it.
Okay, looks like the army is about to come down, and there's the giant line coming from the top right side. The 12 vultures are coming, and Free is hesitating. I mean, if I just look at the yellow dot on the minimap, I don't think he has much of a map control nor the vision. And Free's response is always late. I mean, he just constantly losing the gun here and there, and he's constantly losing the shield. And okay, yeah, that's another command center being added on the mineral expansion.
Yeah, and critically for Terran, first off, they're up supply, but also +3 is kicked in. EMP is almost available. He loses the Arbiter without getting a stasis down. The army is kind of disjointed here. Tanks are just chewing through everything. Supplies have plummeted for Free down to 110, while Mong is still holding strong with 150. The storms are not bad, but they're too late, and the attack gets denied, and this is probably going to be Free tapping out in just a second unless he can somehow miraculously kill these 8 tanks or so.
Yeah, these army is just coming in a straight line. 3-2 upgrade mech army is definitely powerful. We can see Free is struggling. I mean, the number of worker count of Free he lost so much, and we hear lots of skins go off. And I guess Mong figured out there was leftover 3 tanks at the 6 o'clock. He's gonna be bringing those 3 tanks and pretty much splitting up the army in half. And I guess he wants to take down another expansion at the 5 o'clock now.
I think this is the end of Free. He just doesn't have the money. I mean, look at bottom right, Nat. He hasn't even transferred full probes over there to get that up and running. So he's trying to push out as many units as he can, but he just doesn't have the money anymore. And it's just an overwhelming amount for Mong right now. There it is. It's going to be GG from Free. And that means Mong, he is going to survive, at least for now, and he'll be moving into the Deciders match versus Harangi.
Yeah, absolutely amazing play from Mong. I mean, because from what I heard, what I learned from Light, I mean, you don't waste your vulture against the Arbiter build, but Mong showed the solution. Hey, I can still waste my vulture and catch up into like this 12-minute mark of the game and take my expansion, and also have those spider mine on the minimap, and then just kind of have some a little bit of a luck. The spider mines did kill lots of Zealot and lots of goods there at the 12-minute mark, so that pretty much stopped Free's attack move. Well, it was a bit unfortunate for him, and that was his journey.
Yeah, but despite the loss, Free should be feeling pretty good about his game versus Rush. Of course, the game we just saw didn't go very well for him, and even the, I guess, commentators missed this move. We're going to see a replay of how these tanks killed these goons. This is 6 goons that died for Free. And remember, this is the point in the game where Free was up 30 supplies, so he would have been up 45, and he was setting up for a bust. Imagine if he doesn't lose those goons, and if he doesn't hit these mines that get set up now. I mean, there was no SimCity at this command center, so I think that was the game-changing move there. And unfortunately for Free, that's all it takes is one game-changing move at the pro level. But we're going to have another TVP. I was kind of hoping Free was going to make it into the final match so we could have a PvP, but it's still going to be a good matchup. We've got Mong versus Harangi in just a couple minutes. All right, we're back with the final game of the round of 24. It is Mong versus Harangi, and we've got double nemesis ban, which means Afrika is going to pick the map, and it is going to be Vermeer.
It's interesting to see both of the players are banning the same map. I guess they both prefers to play on standard map, like the standard map where there's not much of a weird neutral building blocking the pathing and so on. So yeah, both of the players will be playing on a standard map Vermeer that was used in the previous season and this season. And I wonder what Mong is going to be doing. Mong showed factory expansion from game number 1 on Butter against Horangi, but Rex expansion against Free, and this is a 4-player map once again on Vermeer. I wonder if he will be doing Rex expansion once again.
Yeah, I would like to see it again just because we almost always see gas expand. We'll find out in just a moment because our game is on the way. So in the bottom right, coming off a nice victory versus Free, it's Mong. And in the bottom left, our purple Protoss, it is Harangi. So again, we've got a 4-player map. Again, we've got horizontal or close spawns. You know, we had Mong top left versus bottom left a minute ago. We had Rush versus Harangi top left versus top right a moment ago. You know, I would actually like to see 12 Nexus from Harangi again, because I don't think Mong's going to be expecting to see a 12 Nexus back-to-back.
Yeah, so it looks like another fan is rooting for Horangi, saying that Mong, it's already 9 p.m. right now. Mong is going to be hungry. He's going to be falling behind. So Mong needs to eat something. Mong needs to eat something to keep up and show how strong he is. But yeah, there's lots of fans that are rooting for Horangi and Mong here too. Rooting for Mong, drawing a peaky face for some reason.
Well, we do not see that fast pylon scout that you were talking about on Allegro. And maybe Harangi's thinking like, okay, well maybe I could have held my Nexus if I just had the Nexus and gateways and stuff a little bit faster. So I wonder if that's where he'll use that extra income in the early game.
And now once again we are seeing Mong putting down the Rex at the natural. And gateway at the main, but I don't see the simulator is going up. Is this going to be a 12 simulator right now Horangi is going to make? Or it can be a 13 Nexus. There is something that Mini has been doing previous tournament and so on. Like he has done the gateway expansion with a 13. Oh, never mind. There's a super late 13 a simulator right now he's making.
I feel like last year was like the innovation of Zerg. We saw Soma pull out so many new builds, but last year and this year, it's like the revolution of Protoss. Mini has shown so many new styles, not just in Protoss versus Terran, but also remember his fast cybernetics. Protoss versus Zerg has been one of the previous ASLs, recent previous ASLs versus Queen in particular, where he just crushed Queen so hard. It was not close. And we're seeing, you know, a lot of different builds from Protoss. A 13 gas, I mean, that's very unusual, and I wonder how Harangi will use it. We do have the end scout from Mong, so he is going to find Harangi pretty quickly, and he's going to feel happy knowing that there's no 12 Nexus.
I think this is one of the play right now Horangi is doing is I mean, whenever Terran finds out Protoss main base, he won't be able to figure out whether that is going to be the good range or whatnot, but I feel Horangi, most likely he will be canceling the Cybernetics core upgrade and into putting down. Okay, wow. Yeah, he did cancel the Cybernetics core upgrade. So now we can see there's an eBay rush going on for Mong. So Mong is just reading off Horangi's mind game really with the wall here.
Yeah, this is really interesting. I thought for sure Harangi got the gas late because he wanted to build the Zealot. There's no Zealot.
Yeah.
So this is just so weird.
It's a build that Snow often does in PvT, where he goes for late gas like the 13 or 12.5 assimilator into 1 gun, 19 nexus. But that's what he was aiming for. But then Mong somehow he managed to read off what exactly he was doing, and he decided to go for the eBay rush there and delayed the nexus as much as possible there. And we can see Horangi is skipping the range upgrade. The modern build right now of this PvT, you can skip the range upgrade and go for the robotic facility, and then you start the gun range upgrade. There you go.
Well, you can see Harangi didn't scout at all, so this goon is going to find Mong last, and he's going to see the bad news. First off, Mong got a gasless expand, which is already incredible for Terran. But also, Harangi didn't get range, so he can't even pressure this bunker. So literally, this could not have gone any better for Terran right now. This is just the dream scenario for Mong. And he's got his academy coming up, he's got 2-fact coming up, he's got insane mineral income. He sees that there's no fast third base. You know, they're not sneaking like a 430 third nexus or anything. I mean, this is just a fantastic position for him.
Okay, there's a robotic facility. Robotic facility finished and a support bay finally going up. And there's the one thing that I've been noticing from Mong's game. Mong is just always going for an academy build instead of the eBay build. Maybe I guess he just wants to be somewhat greedy and scan using the compensation to figure out what exactly Horang is doing, and just pretty much wants to counter every single moment, like how Horangi responds.
Yeah, it could be the case that well, remember, he went gasless, so he's got an additional 3 or 4 SCBs here. He can afford to put the comsats down and it'd still be fine. We do have the eBay coming in for Mong now, so it's not like he skipped the eBay, it's just he prioritized the academy a little bit more, and I think the eBay will be in time for the Reaver. And also, when he scans, he's going to see the shuttle, so he'll be able to put up a turret ring, and Harangi's not going to get much damage done, I don't think.
And Mong is now hitting in a 6-minute mark, and that's the time where you kind of need to have the second refinery. And there you go, we are seeing Mong finally have that second refinery. And one comes to station at the main, scanning off and figures out there's a shuttle.
Yep, here comes the first shuttle, and Nexus comes down at the same time. I mean, there's not that many tanks. What's that, just 1 and 4 vultures, and that's it? Comsat just completes. Despite having a rush to Academy, Comsats feel a bit slow for how fast they are, and if the Zealot soaks up... Oh my god, it's just 6 vultures! I mean, there's really not a lot of DPS for the Reaver and Goon. Is he just gonna knock down this bunker?
Yeah, I think he wants to knock down the bunker, but the repair...
Oh, the mines.
The repair was super amazing, but the Goon did not... yeah, I mean, I guess the trade was somewhat even for both players, because Mong did lose 1 or 2 SCV by the Scarab shot, and Horangi wasted 1 Zealot or 2 Zealot maximum, but ooh, what is this?
Hidden command center. Top, middle. Vultures get into the natural. There's no observer here, so these vultures could do a ton of damage. Luckily for Harangi, he dealt a lot of damage to a couple of them, so he ends up only getting maybe 2 probes, and that's it.
Yeah, 2 probe maximum, and not expected to see Mong put in... Wow. Double command center.
Okay, so I understand this, right? Because if there's an observer that gets in here, you don't want Protoss to think that there's a hidden base. So he's going to build the 4th command center and make it look like it's actually just his 3rd. But we know that there's going to be a 3rd command center at the top side. And if this gets up and running, that's going to put him on 4 bases, 4 gas. He's going to have so much income available to him.
Yeah, he's we can see from Mong, he's adding the starport. I mean, generally, if the observer is now like checking out Mong's main base, and I don't think Horangi is gonna be expecting of this hidden expansion. I mean, the 4th command center timing seems normal, starport timing seems normal, and 3rd factory seems normal as well. Everything seems normal.
Yeah, it does, which is why I love the fact that he built the 4th command center to make it look like it's just a normal play, and we know that it definitely is not. And when Harangi watches the replay, if this base gets up and running, he's going to be kicking himself for not scouting the map. We do see Harangi just doing kind of Harangi things. He's got Citadel done, 6 gates coming in. I imagine Templar Archive and Stargate are going to be coming down pretty soon, because that's generally what he goes for, is Arbiters.
And command centers forward, adding more gateway, but I don't see Templar Archive whatsoever. So Horangi is aiming to go for a 3 base 8 gateway into Sirabadun, and then probably pump up lots of like a ground army and try to deny Mong's 3rd expansion as much as possible. And here's the Reaver, like how Snow often does. And here's one thing that I have to tell is Horangi and Snow, they are both in the same team, Tsuna University, and they are for sure share the knowledge often and what's good and what's not good about how they have to be played.
Well, those tanks are in range, and he's gonna... I thought he was gonna get 1 Reaver. But what I do like what Mong is doing is he's cutting SCVs in his main and natural, and just only focusing on SCV production at top middle. Like, you don't want to have constant production on these 4 command centers, get up to like 100 SCVs. You're just not going to have an army. So I like how he's cut in the main and that's a good Reaver shot. He takes down a tank,
oh my God,
but he lost the Reaver, and he lost the shuttle.
And now Mong is just going to be having some... Oh wow, that range of the siege tank is super duper long, and picks up the 2nd Reaver. And now that is going to be giving Mong an access of mining 4 base macro. And okay, yeah, this is a strong timing for Horangi to go for the timing attack. 9 gateway macro, having the 4th nexus being warped, but there's not much of spider mines being placed, and no there's no bunker. Oh yeah, there's no bunker at the 3rd expansion. Goons and Zealots are coming.
Zealots lead the way. They didn't really take that many mine hits, so he does get onto these tanks with almost full health. And the question here is, did Mong build too many command centers and not build enough units? It looks like he's going to lose the majority of his army on the low ground, but these 3 tanks on the high ground will hold strong, and holding that attack is going to well, I was going to say it's going to leave Mong in a good position, but I'm looking at how many factories Mong has. He only has 4 versus like 10 gates.
Yeah, I think he might need to surround the... Yeah, Zealots are going to be surrounding the bunker, but now SCVs are not attached to the bunker. The bunker goes down. I think this command center has to be floated, and in this kind of like a game situation right now Mong is having, probably Horangi is just going to be thinking, oh yeah, okay, I denied your 3rd expansion, so I'm on an okay position. But the thing is, there's a bunch of factory right now Mong is adding.
Yeah, and that's almost perfect saturation at top middle. I mean, he could build like 2 or 3 more SCVs, and he would be absolutely perfectly saturated. So Harangi's actually not in as good of a position as he thinks he is right now. Mine's set up, and Vultures are going to try and get into the 4th base, but Pylon Block is going to prevent that from happening. And I'm still... Okay, there we go. We do see Templar tech. I was wondering what the tech's going to be for Harangi, and he's decided he's going to go into Templars.
That's total 9 factory, and whenever Terran has 9 factory, that's the time for Terran. That's the time when Terran starts to gonna be having lots of armies soon. But now the army supply count is 120 still, so still needs some time for Mong to manage to hold of these. The giant bus will be coming momentarily. There's the 1 single shuttle and 12 Zella the 1 cycle of the macro, 12 Zella production once again here. And I think Horangi needs to figure out, either he has to trade the army really well, or finds out the 12 o'clock expansion or whatnot, because the +2 attack upgrade is going to be kicking in soon, maybe in the next 1 minute or maybe 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. First off, +2 is kicking in, and also I don't know about this comp from Harangi. It's like 8 goons, and literally everything else is Zealots. I mean, Zealots are good. I feel like you gotta have more than 8 goons. He does have a couple of Templars. Maybe that could help even out or round out the army. But oh man, this is Templar dropped. But will he get any SCV kills? Got a decent amount, and he gets some vultures. So that was better. Went better than expected. And Harangi's max, dude. He is max versus 140 Terran.
Yeah, he really wants to go for the bust, but now the supply count is hitting at the 154, and this is 4 base macro with a 4 gas. And whenever Terran has 4 gas, you can pretty much spend all those Vespin gas for the upgrade plus the 3 tank production all at the same time, and the vessel. And there's a vessel is already out on the map, and these terrain does not look great. Oh wow, that soaked up so much of a Spider-Man head.
Oh my god, those 2 mine hits literally evaporated like 10 zealots. And look at the zealots. How many got onto the tanks? Like 2? That's it? Supplies plummeted. Harangi lost 80 supply in that fight, and Mong lost like, what, 15? That's it. That was a terrible attack for Harangi, and that's going to give new life to Mong. You mentioned this 4 gas means he's just going to have so many tanks. We already know he has so many factories, and he's going to be probably out on the map in just a second.
Yeah, that's another command center being added. That's his 5th command center right now. He's adding very, very rich, and I guess Mong is just feeling so much more confident. He just scanned off multiple bases and figured out how much of the remaining army is. He knows there's not much of guns remaining. Mong is feeling very confident over here. He'll be shifting forward. 3 tanks are going to be sieging first, but okay, zealots are being wasted.
Yep, zealots die for free, and supplies are still in favor of Mong. He also has an EMP. There's no arbor. There's no shuttles. All he has is Gateway Man plus Templars on the low ground. And Mong wants to fight. He wants you to come into this meat grinder that is the 20 tank line that's already set up. Zealots get through the D-Matrix tank. They're starting to take down some of them, but there's still just not enough here. Vultures are buffering a lot of the damage, and Mong's right on top, or very close to being on top of the natural.
Wow, it's just too much. I mean, 9 factory macro is just gonna be stopping this, like, what is it, 14 gateway right now, or maybe 13 gateway right now, Horang2 right now has. Just too much. I mean, the vulture cycle, the vulture takes 19 seconds to macro, and it's just much quicker than the zealot production all the time. So the supply count is now catching up, and now Mong is leading the supply count, 150 versus 150.
Yep, there's a mine contained outside of the natural. There's tanks within range of some of the buildings at the natural. We've got 2 tanks on the left side. It forces Harangi to fight, but he's just running into so many mines, taking free hits. He doesn't even kill a tank yet.
Yeah, just to take down those 2 tanks, he wasted like 3 groups of army. And now Mong's gonna be just keeping up the supply count really, really well. Taking another base. This is a 5th base right now Mong is going to be taking. And Harangi is just going to be somewhat surprised. I mean, you were on 3 base macro, and whenever Terran is on a 3 base macro, the maximum factory count that he will be having will be like 7 to 8, but it's just too much.
Yeah, that was amazing play from Mong there, and like I said earlier, Harangi's going to be wondering what the hell happened, and when he sees top middle, he's going to be shaking his head for letting that happen. I mean, he didn't scout any of the map. Remember Mong on Butter? He's the one that proxied to Starport and his science facility. So, big mistake to not scout that game. But it is what it is, and that means that we push through both Terrans to the round of 16. And I think that gives us, what now, 6 Protoss, 4 Zerg, and 6 Terrans? So Terran and Protoss leading the charge this season.
Well, it's a bit unfortunate that Harangi didn't play well there. I mean, that hidden expansion the ninja expansion is just way too greedy for Mong, and if you don't figure out the hidden expansion, then it's just overpowered, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, any base you get for free that the opposing player doesn't know about is a bit overpowered. Let's get into our interview with Mong. I'm curious for his thoughts on how he thinks today went.
Yeah, I guess the MC and Mong, yeah, they're now here.
Season 14 24강
And that was the last game and the last group of the ASL Season 14 round of 24. The last player who will be advancing into round of 16, he will be Mong. Congratulations.
이경민 선수에게 제대로 된 복수를
And
해
in
주요한
game number 1
16강에
or
새
match 2
시즌 만에
on Butter against
진출하셨습니다.
Horang2, you
진출 소감을 좀
lost
들어볼까요?
to Horang2 and now
너무
you
오랜만에 올라간 것 같아가지고
showed how strong
맨날
you were in
조지명
game
씨는
number
가고 싶다는
5
생각 많이
on a
했는데
decider match.
딱 제가 예상한
And how do you
대로
feel? And it's been a long time that you did not make it into
많은
round of
데에서는 항상
16.
살아남았거든요. 살아남아서 너무 기분 좋아요 지금.
So Mong is saying
이경민
that
선수의 마지막
in the
최종전은
previous
반드시
tournament,
몰래멀티가
like long
끝까지
seasons
걸리지
ago, he's
않으면서
saying he
윤찬희 선수의
often
폭식 빌드가 제대로 먹혀
plays really well
들어갔다.
네.
in a group of
이야기들이
lots
나오고
of products.
있거든요. 이 빌드 어떻게 준비하신 건가요?
이게 원래는
And he feels great about this. He likes about this
나온
group.
빌드가 아니에요. 6번을 딱 돌렸을 때 경민이 형이 노읍으로 딱 그 한번 푸시하는 거 보고 즉흥적으로 했어요. 즉흥적으로.
So Mong is saying that he didn't play with practice game like how he was planning.
몰래 멀티 사이즈가 딱
But he was analyzing how Harangi was playing from this today's game. He kind of noticed that Horang2 doesn't scout often. He doesn't scout really well, and finding out those hidden expansions, so Mong decided to go for hidden expansion. He wanted to play something new, so it did work out well for him.
윤찬희 선수의
So Mong is
컨셉대로
saying
오늘
that
경기가
Mong
흘러가면서
was
결국에는
planning
새 시즌
of
만에
something like a
16강
concept
진출,
play
이
style.
쾌거를
He had some
이뤄내셨습니다. 이
plan,
당시에 16강에 진출했던
and it did work out well
시즌
for him.
보기에 보면 김명훈 선수에게 좀 흔들렸고 승률을 보더라도 ASL 내에서 저그전에서 조금은 어려움을 겪고 있지
So
않나.
we are seeing from your status information on ASL performance, you are
굉장히 많습니다.
진짜 저그가
you're weak in a TVZ, and we know in round of 16 there's lots of other players are waiting in the round of 16. And how are you gonna be prepared of this round of 16? And Mong is saying that even if he says that he practiced of TVZ and he tries to get better at it all the time, but Zerg players are just constantly getting better and better, and he just needs to catch up somehow.
그나마 성대랑은 해볼 만하지 않을까.
So Mong is saying that if he has to play against Zerg, he wants to play against Action.
짭제는 요즘 그냥 좀 너무
Playing against Action is somewhat doable, and Mong is saying he kinda doesn't want to play against Soma.
성대도 이런 생각하고 있다면
So he's trying to appeal to Action. Please, Action made it through on the wild card, so he got the seeded player. So Action has the power of choosing the player in the group nomination. So he's just pretty much appealing to Mong, appealing to Action. Mong wants to be in a group of Action's group.
하는 모습 기대하고 계실 것 같습니다. 팬분들에게도 한마디
So any last word to your fans?
제가 16강은 일단 안착했으니까
So he's happy that he's been in a round of 16. He's very happy, and he's also glad to see fans are here and watching his game and his people. And he also wants to mention about the practice partner, YSC. And he also wants to say thanks to NSU teammates. He recently left the NSU. He wants to say thanks to NSU, the chairman, and the financial supporter. And thank you for the interview. And we'll see you again in the group nomination.
Well, I would love to see Mong versus Action. Action's got insane macro in ZBT, and we know Mong can play the macro in Terran versus Zerg, so that would be a great matchup. Rundown of how today went: Rush took down Free, Harangi took down Mong, Rush took down Harangi, Mong took down Free, and then Mong took down Harangi, got revenge for earlier, and that means, oh, actually it's 4 Protoss, so it's 6 Terran, 4 Protoss, and 6 Zergs.
But when I look at this, the name of the players, I mean, I feel like lots of Terran players are going to be started to fall off in round of 16, and I feel like only maybe 2 or maximum 3 Terran players will be surviving in round of 8. And a lot of Zergs will be surviving in round of 8, I believe. They're really, really strong. I mean, look at the names: Soma, Action, Hero, Soki, Queen, and Shine, who has a backup builds that it's very hard to predict what he will be doing in a map, on a concept map like a Arkanoid and Odyssey and some other maps like Nemesis and so on. We don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, all of the big names are here. I mean, look at the Protoss lineup. It's Bisu, Best, Mini, and Snow. those are the top four, right? Like those are actually the top four Protoss players. I mean, there's no one missing from the Protoss squad. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I really like how our round of 16 is rounding out. I wonder how the groups are going to draw because I'm thinking back to previous season. I remember Mini picking Light. Wasn't that last season? I was thinking, why would you do such a thing? I wonder who will the champion pick this time around. Are they going to try and make a death group? And if they can make it out of that, have an easy round of or potentially easy way to the finals, or will they try and get an easy group for themselves?
So last week, I was spending the time with Light because of the university, like the team house, the practice game, practicing for the tournament. And Light was telling me the story of his previous ASL. He asked Snow for the practice game, but Snow is absolutely beast. I mean, sometimes whenever you're playing the practice games, you kind of ask your practice partner to play like the specific build, like a Reaver, or like do not use the Reaver that often, or maybe go for maybe super fast carry build, maybe Arbiter build, because they want to practice against someone who's facing on a tournament like their opponent's a playstyle. But Snow was just being so aggressive with the Reaver playstyle, and Light was upset with it, and Light really wants to have Snow in a death group of Zerg.
Okay, that will be hilarious to see. I'm excited to see who like will pick. But our round of 24 is over. Round of 16 will be coming up, I think, next season. Of course, we're gonna have the group draw, I think, on the weekend. So definitely check that out. And we will be back next week. So both me and Scan will see you there. Take care.